Yellow Jacket Hockey is on the air from Westman Arena on the campus of the University of Wisconsin-Superior, where tonight the denizens of Superior will get their first opportunity to see the 25-26 Yellow Jackets as they take on the Saints from the College of St. Scholastica. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Yellow Jacket Hockey pregame show sponsored by National Bank of Commerce. I am John Garver, and when we last saw the Yellow Jackets, they were chasing the game throughout the night on Saturday as they fell behind by a goal 3 times to a very good St. Olaf Hockey Club, but they showed a little bit of guts coming back all 3 times to force overtime, settled for the tie, and ultimately won the game in the shootout. It was a good evening for the Yellow Jackets last Saturday as they found their footing after what Coach McKenna said, a rough one on Friday where they had to apologize to the puck. So it was a much better outing for the Jackets on Saturday. They're going to come into this one tonight taking on a St. Scholastica club where youth is definitely being served. This is a club that has 14 new players on the roster. Over the last 2 years, they have had an exodus of players that have graduated and gone on to other things, and they lost a lot of talent in there as well. And they go back a couple of years, they were as dynamic as any team in Division III hockey. They were the number 1 ranked team in the country at one point. They were the last unbeaten team in the country at one point. So it was a very, very good club they had a couple of years ago, but that's the nature of college sports, and they have graduated a lot of personnel here over the last couple of years. Should be a good one between 2 longtime rivals, and what a way to start the home portion of the schedule. We got a lot more to come on this pregame show here tonight. We will hear from Yellow Jacket head coach Rich McKenna. We will hear from senior forward Chris Ishmael. We will take a look at the starting lineups. We're going to have keys to the game courtesy of Jason Roan. All that and more when the pregame show continues right after this. This is Yellow Jacket Hockey on 91.3 KUWS Superior and Yellow Jacket TV, an affiliate of the WIAC Sports Network. Last Saturday night at the St. Olaf Ice Arena in Northfield, Minnesota, the Yellow Jackets and St. Olaf skated to a 3-all tie. The Oles getting on the board first at 4:25 of the first period on a goal from Willie Johnson streaking down the left wing and beating Kobe Grant up high. Yellow Jackets came back at 14:07 of the period to tie it. Daniel Roosevelt scoring his second goal of the season on the power play, mucking it up between the circles and was able to get away from the check, or I should say get his stick away from the check, and slide the puck into a wide open net for his second of the season. A.J. Reed and Chris Ishmael had the assists, and the Jackets were tied 1-1 after one. In the second period, St. Olaf again grabbed the lead early at 5:04. Jonathan Panisa, wow, does that kid have wheels. Man, he's got a shot that is probably already NHL capable, and he also has the wheels to go with it. Again, another one streaking down the wing, got around the defender, did a complete lap of the offensive zone, and then wired one top shelf from the top of the right circle. His third goal this season. That was again 5:04. And it was a 2-1 lead for St. Olaf. Yellow Jackets came back and tied it at 15:02. Second of the year for Matthew Danziger. Dude doesn't score a goal for 2 years and now has two in the first 3 games of his junior year. Very similar to the first one, too. Got the puck high slot, one timed it down low between the pads of goaltender Tyler LaRoe. That tied the game up at 2-2. Chris Ishmael, Daniel Roosevelt had the helpers on that. Then 3:47 into the third period. St. Olaf grabbed a 3-2 lead again. It was Panisa creating the play as he sped up the left wing, got a defenseman to fall down. That's never a good thing. And then all of a sudden you had the 2-on-1 in front. Goaltender's got to take the shooter, and Connor McNaughton was left uncovered between the circles. There was a goal there for St. Olaf. It was 3-2, 3:47 into the third, and then the Yellow Jackets were able to draw even again. 12:31 of the third period. Chris Ishmael, his second from Daniel Roosevelt, and this was definitely one that LaRoe would like to have back, as it was Ishmael in the left wing corner straddling the goal line and threw it head high, and it basically went off the shoulder of the goaltender in top shelf. Second of the year for Ishmael. Neither one of them by a conventional method, and you'll hear a little bit about that later on in the pregame as well. And that tied the game at 3. From that point on, the Jackets were very good. They carried the play in the offensive zone. They had so many good opportunities. Unfortunately, weren't able to get that go-ahead goal for the first time in the game. They went to overtime, and the Jackets were very good in OT last year, going 4-0. And it was 4-0-1. They tied that last game of the season before they won it in the shootout. And 3-on-3 overtime supposed to be exciting, and those two teams figured out a way to make it the most 5 boring minutes of hockey you've ever seen, because loop it back. Don't see what I like, loop it back. Don't see what I like, loop it back. I mean, there's only 2 shots in the entire overtime period, which is despicable when you're talking 3-on-3. But, yeah, they made it for some pretty boring hockey. Nothing was decided there. Then the Yellow Jackets scoring twice in the shootout, A.J. Reed and Carson Riddle. And the Jackets with the victory in that one. 2-0 shootout, but it goes in the books as a tie and gave them a 2-0-1 record coming into this one here tonight. Meanwhile, last weekend, St. Scholastica losing on Friday night to St. John's at home 7-1. That's never good in front of the home crowd. Then they hit the road and went down to St. Cloud the following night, and the two teams skated to a 4-4 tie, and St. John's was able to get the shootout win there. That one does matter because it's a conference game, so there was an extra point on the line in that one. We're about 23 and a half away from the drop of the puck here between the Jackets and the Saints. We'll take a timeout when we come back on the pregame show sponsored by National Bank of Commerce. We will catch up with Yellow Jacket head coach Rich McKenna. This is Yellow Jacket Hockey on 91.3 KUWS Superior and Yellow Jacket TV, an affiliate of the WIAC Sports Network. We're back on the Yellow Jacket Hockey pregame show, sponsored by National Bank of Commerce. It's Friday night. The Yellow Jackets, the 25-26 home opener as they get ready to take on the College of St. Scholastica. I am John Garver, and as always, we're joined by Yellow Jacket head coach Rich McKenna. Coach, last Saturday in the pregame, you apologized to the puck for the way that things were going, and things went a little bit better for you guys on Saturday.
We were better with the puck for sure. Starting off 8 minutes in the box in the first period back-to-back is a habit that we want to break here tonight. That'll be a key to victory. Once we got our F3 and our D connected a little bit more, I thought we really tilted the ice against Olaf. They're a fast team though. Like when our guys were out of position, we looked like cones. So to come out 3-3, kind of always clung back a little bit. Showed a little bit resiliency, something to build off of, I think. But, ultimately, we can play better, and we're still searching for that game, and that's what we're hoping brings tonight.
Definitely one of the faster teams we've seen in the last 5 years. They could really fly, and it seemed like pretty much up and down the lineup they could really go.
Yeah, and they stretch, and they support the puck really well. I thought they had a very good game plan with the puck. When we were able to break the puck out, get into the neutral zone, gain our speed, get the puck in deep, I thought that's when the ice, like I said, tilted, and we made it a little bit, I don't think they really want to play in the D zone that much, so when you force them to do that, and again, those high-flying, quick transition teams, if you slow the game down and put them on the wall a little bit and get your licks in, and it changes the style of play that has to be that they'll have to play, and it goes to the advantage.
One of the things that we've seemingly we bring up every single pregame that we do is some aspect of special teams, and so far through 3 games, penalty kill has been in a really good place for you guys, and like you said, 8 in the first period on Saturday, and your PK was really, really good.
Yeah, watching tape though, like we had some PK clips on the old highlight reel. Just because they were so good with the puck, and like I tell the guys that when you take 8 minutes in the first period, like their best players are typically warmed up, and we're trying to get guys going and everything else. So. The PK did what we had to do. I thought Kobe was our best killer, which is what you need. But then on top of that, once we settled into the game, like our penalty kill in the third looked a lot different than our penalty kill in the first, and it's just starting on time and getting through those first 10 minutes, I guess.
Power play has also found the back of the net in each of the first 3 games. Power play goal on Saturday coming from Daniel Roosevelt. Through 3 games, it seems like he's taking another step from where he was last year.
For sure, and in regards to the power play, I love Ish, but I won't count his. So we have 2. I remind the guys of that all the time. But yeah, Rosie's playing really good hockey. Rosie and JD are 2 guys in the lineup that, they're kind of our engine, they're kind of our motor. Their freshman year, when we had that losing season, really did not sit right with them, and then they did what they did last year, and they're just building on that. It's pretty special. We're lucky to have those 2, and I think that, in all honesty, their best hockey is yet to be seen here yet. So we're fortunate.
Another guy I want to highlight, AJ Reed had another really good game, scored a goal in the shootout that, puck hopped on him. He was able to settle down and slip it 5-hole. Pretty impressive freshman.
Yeah, AJ could probably play middle linebacker for 3/4 of Division III football. Yet he skates. He's a good skater. He's got a missile of a shot, and it's kind of funny. He's a real gamer. Like he can't really practice the way he plays Monday through Thursday because he'd probably hurt somebody. Like he takes off a little bit when we're practicing power play because he doesn't want to wreck a defenseman's ankle, or like he's he's a specimen. He's a great human being. I'm really looking forward to the next 3 years with him too, and seeing where he could go once he graduates from here.
Sounds like he would have fit right in with us in the 1990s with the teams that we had. St. Scholastica now here tonight, a team that obviously you know very, very well from playing so many times over the years. Had a chance to see them a little bit earlier in the year. How do you attack them?
Well, that exhibition game, it's, they're playing other goalies where, we're goalie rich, right? So it doesn't really matter who we play. All three goalies are good. They're a young team. I think they brought in 14 kids in their recruiting class. So it kind of depends upon, in all honesty, do we get to our game first and make them kind of chase the game the whole time? Or do we allow them, because, those freshmen are now going into their 5th game of college hockey. They're better than what they were when we first saw them in exhibition. The exhibition's fun because it's always spirited. Grateful this year wasn't too many injuries. We were okay. But they'll be a good high-flying team. We got to stay disciplined because they'll chirp and they'll stick you, and you just got to take it and be a man about it. And we had that talk 5 days in a row. So we'll see. We'll see. And then ultimately, it's just imposing your will. We do the pre-scouts, we do all that stuff. This week we kind of were let's just focus on us a little bit. We dialed back a couple of things in terms of preparation. Let's get our game under control. And I think if we break out the puck, get through the neutral zone with speed, get pucks in deep, force them to defend. Preferably if you catch one of them and lay them out, that'll be good too, and set a tone, and we'll be all right.
Injury update?
Well,
what you can give?
Yeah. Well, everyone's nothing too severe. Petey's going to be back. Him and Nickerson could probably both play this weekend if we wanted to, but with conference coming up, 2 big teams coming up next weekend, depending upon, we're going to take it a little bit game by game, but I'd say they're game to game now.
What goalie's up in the rotation?
We're going to go with Jack today. So we're going to go with Jack. BK's getting his game in, first game in of the season tonight. He's looked fantastic in practice. Jack's been really good, and yeah, we're playing everybody.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck.
Take care, guys.
That's Yellow Jacket head coach Rich McKenna, 10th season behind the Yellow Jacket bench. All-time 112 wins, 105 losses, and 20 ties. All-time against the College of St. Scholastica, 6 wins, 4 losses, and a tie, including a mark of 4-2-1 right here at Westman Arena. His counterpart is Dave Williams in his 5th season with the Saints, 45 wins, 30 losses, and 7 ties. In the all-time series, the Yellow Jackets have won 93 times. St. Scholastica has won 44, and there have been 10 tie games. Yes, there is a big discrepancy there, and if you go back to the early 1990s into the mid-2000s, there was a 55-game unbeaten streak for the Yellow Jackets in there. So that is where that massive margin between Yellow Jacket wins and St. Scholastica wins comes from. Let's take a look at Keys to the Game, sponsored by Jason Rohn. Let's turn your mic on first.
Oh, yeah, that helps a lot. Better? Can you hear me now?
We can hear you now.
All right, hey, we're on camera. We got to slide down. We got to say hello to everybody. So, 3 keys to the game. Starting off, first key number 1 for UWS tonight, it's playing to its character. It's no secret what the formula is for UWS. It's get good goaltending, play with structure, play sound defense, be responsible, and that'll be where it all starts. Everything flows from that for this team. They've got to come out tonight and do, as I imagine Coach McKenna would say, play the right way. They've got to come out and play the right way tonight, and that'll be the number 1 key to this game. Second key to the game tonight for both teams is winning pucks below the dot. It's also no secret that UWS, when it's having success, tends to be able to win a lot of pucks on the boards, win pucks in the corners, keep pucks alive behind the net. create some chances off the cycle. It's a winning formula for either team tonight, and I think if either team establishes an advantage on pucks below the dots in the offensive zone, that team's going to have a really good chance to win. The third key tonight is obviously something that Coach McKenna mentioned. It's discipline.
Yep.
Home opener, a lot of emotions, big rivalry game. UWS probably has more depth. They want to play at 5-on-5. It's easier for defensive structure, and it plays to the strengths of UWS. If UWS can stay out of the penalty box, stay away from the retaliatory penalties, they'll probably be in really good position to win this game, but they're going to have to manage their emotions. You don't want to come out flat, but you need to be under control with all the hype that surrounds the first game and a big rivalry game like this.
Yeah, and the penalties are a factor. I mean, they played 3 games, and the Yellow Jackets have been the more penalized team in all 3 of those games. So they've been very fortunate. The penalty kill's been good. You know, the PK is still, knock on something that's wood up here, is still 100%. They haven't allowed that power play goal to the opposition yet, while on the other side, their power play has been scoring some goals, even though Rich won't count one of them. They have scored a power play goal in each game. So they've been winning the special teams battle, to steal a football analogy. And typically, if you can do that in ice hockey as well, you're going to come out on top.
Right, and it's not that the Yellow Jackets can't win a special teams game, but it probably isn't what puts them in the best position to win tonight.
Let's take a look at the starters in this one here. First, for the Yellow Jackets, it'll be Jack Boschert getting the start in goal. He is a 5'10", 165-pound junior from Florissant, Missouri, making his first appearance on the campaign. All-time AEW Superior, 27 games played, 13-8-1 is his record, 1.78 goals against average, .934 save percentage. He is the third in that 3-headed goaltending monster for the Yellow Jackets to get a start here this season. The starting 5 in front of him, the defense pair, no change there. Tyler Ryder and Matt Danziger. The forward line will have Chris Ishmael centering Blake Setter on the right side and A.J. Reed on the left. Other Yellow Jacket forward lines tonight. Justin Dauphiné will have Daniel Roosevelt on the right wing and Iki Kagawa on the left. Andrew Larson moving up to the second line. He will center Zach Lucier on the right wing and Cade Shea on the left. Carson Riddle will have Alexei Yarmolnik on the right wing and Rupe Tuomioksa. 3 games in, and I'm still stuttering over that one.
I've been practicing it all day.
On the left wing, and that there's a lot of letters on that line. That's like the Scrabble line, I think. We're just missing the Q. The extra forward today is Brady Clemenson. The other defense pairs, Dusty Bergstrom and Liam Whitehouse, Sam Brennan and Jordan Gibbs, and backing up Jack Boschert, of course, Jan Skorpik and Kobe Grant. On the other side, for St. Scholastica, Eino Risanen is going to get the starting goal. He is a 6'2" junior from Saint-Villiers, Switzerland, making his 5th appearance on the year. He's got a record of 1-2-1, a 3.72 goals against average, a .901 save percentage. He's carried the mail all season long here so far for St. Scholastica, and he's the one being asked to hold down the fort behind a very young team. The officials for tonight's game have been assigned by the Wisconsin Intercollegiate Athletic Conference. The referees are Andrew Liebert and Brett Klazowski. The linesmen Kyle Schultz and Jace Friedlieb. We're going to take a quick timeout, and we come back here on the Yellow Jacket Hockey pregame show sponsored by National Bank of Commerce. We will have a chat with senior center Chris Ishmael. You're listening to Yellow Jacket Hockey on 91.3 KUWS Superior and Yellow Jacket TV, an affiliate of the WIAC Sports Network.
Chris, team's off to a good start so far this year, but I have to ask, are you going to plan to score any goals this year conventionally? Because the first one of the year banks off the boards and goes in, and the second one basically straddling the goal line and throwing it over his shoulder. 2 goals, both of them coming on sort of trick shots, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, you want to score. You plan on scoring when you come into games, but the saying is they don't ask how, they ask how many. So I'm just trying to be out there and have a good time and just show that I can be here. Show that I belong.
The other saying is sometimes it's better to be lucky than good, and definitely a little bit of luck there. But again, you'll take them any way you can get them. 2-0-1 to start the season, so pretty good start for the team. As one of the captains, how do you assess everything?
Yeah, I feel like our first weekend we put up a touchdown, and then last weekend we worked hard, but we didn't start hot. We started off early with penalties, and penalties, they feed their best players. It feeds their power play, and it's only a limited amount of guys on our team that are killing penalties. So we're trying to get everyone out there early and often. So just playing hard right from the start, moving our feet, and I feel like that just sets the tone for us, but also sets the tone for the refs.
I know last year Rich would talk a little bit about the power play, and it did struggle a little bit at times, especially early in the year. Penalty kill kind of struggled at times. Special teams off to a very good start, and you're a part of both those units.
Yeah, I think just the juice is there, the swagger is there. We know the success that we had last year, and we want to build off that. So the new guys that come in, we try to instill like the work ethic and the camaraderie that we have amongst each other. So we want to keep this mojo going, and we want to fire on all cylinders.
St. Scholastica coming in now tonight for the home opener, and a team that there are no secrets between these two. You play multiple times every year. You play the preseason exhibition game, scrimmage, whatever you want to call it. There aren't a lot of secrets here, so what do you expect tonight?
I think it's going to be a hard-fought game. This has been, like you said, it's been a rivalry for many years. It's the battle of the bridge right here, and honestly, I don't expect them to like us because we for sure don't like them.
As a long-suffering Montreal Canadiens fan, how much are you enjoying the start to the season?
Oh, I love it. I like to see the goals. I like Cole Caulfield, Demidov, the young guys. Past 2 games have been tough for them, but I love hockey. I'm a nerd for hockey, and I like to watch it. I like to learn, so try to apply everything that I see into my own game.
Pretty cool, too, that a former Yellow Jacket, Charles Martin, got a chance to go to their main camp this year.
Absolutely amazing. I still keep in touch with him, and I was kind of picking his brain when he went to their camp, like asking him how it is. How is it to play against this guy, that guy? Like I said, I'm just trying to learn from everyone, and I'm grateful that I can have that relationship with him, that I can reach out to him, and I'm praying for all his success here, and I want to see the best out of him.
Before we did this interview, I walked into the training room, and you were very comfortably stretched out on a chair. What did you have on your legs?
I just had the I call them the moon boots, the Normatex, but yeah, they just relax me. I don't need to get psyched up for games. This is what I'm doing, what I love to do, and that's all the motivation that I need right there. I don't need any loud music in my ears, so I'm ready to go. Like Randy Moss said, 84 doesn't stretch on game days. He comes ready.
That's Yellow Jacket Senior Center, Chris Ishmael. And that's going to do it for the Yellow Jacket Hockey pregame show, sponsored by National Bank of Commerce. When we come back, we'll have the drop of the puck between the Yellow Jackets and the Saints from Westman Arena in Superior. This is Yellow Jacket Hockey on 91.3 KUWS Superior and Yellow Jacket TV, an affiliate of the WIAC Sports Network. The 25-26 home opener for the Yellow Jacket men's hockey team as they'll be taking on the College of St. Scholastica. I am John Garber. He is Jason Roan. Abby Hoffman is down rinkside. We will hear from her later on in the broadcast here tonight. But Jason, it was March 1st, the last time we were in this press box, and it was disappointment. That was a disappointing evening. The anticipation leading up to this has been building steadily for several months because everybody got a glimpse of, okay, this is fun, this is good. The program could be back here, and now it's finally time to put rubber on the road.
Yeah, the Yellow Jackets have added another year to the WIAC Champions banner in Westman Arena, and there's definitely potential to add to that this season. It's always exciting to start a season no matter what, but when the stakes are that high and the potential's that great, it's a little bit extra exciting.
Jackets are wearing their new third jersey, the grays with the black and yellow trim, and they'll be going from left to right here in period number 1. I like the gray. It harkens back to the early 1990s when we had those, so Coach Nelson would be absolutely thrilled to death to see that. The puck has been dropped here at Westman Arena, and we are underway with the opening faceoff, sponsored by Barker's Island Inn, Northern Wisconsin's Island Getaway. Puck is dumped into the St. Scholastica zone. Risanen is out of his net. He wraps that around the left wing boards to neutral ice. Tyler Ryder has it there, passes up the left wing. It's tipped in by A.J. Reed. Chasing it down was Blake Setter, but the Saints will come back to neutral ice with it here. Hunter Hansen across the Yellow Jacket line, throws it to the right wing boards, chases it down and wraps it around behind the Yellow Jacket net. Matt Danziger picking it up there, feeds behind the goal for Tyler Ryder. Now ahead on the left wing for Reed. A.J. Reed, rink-wide pass onto the right wing for Ishmael. Chris Ishmael, the top scorer for the Yellow Jackets, with 5 points coming into the game here tonight. Puck comes out to the neutral zone. Blake Setter drills that back into Saints territory. Puck is corralled there by Braden Junker. He feeds it ahead on the left wing for Luke McCarthy, who rifles it into the Yellow Jacket zone. Puck ends up in the right wing corner now. Saints come away with it here into the high slot. Andrew Cumming. He's pressured by Justin Dauphiné, who comes away with the puck. Dauphiné up the right wing into the St. Scholastica zone. Pulls up in the right circle. Takes the shot, and he misses that one over the top of the goal. Puck's going to hop over the stick of Dusty Bergstrom and come all the way back down. Yellow Jackets will regroup while St. Scholastica changes personnel. On the right wing boards now. Puck's taken away from Daniel Roosevelt. Dauphiné follows it up, goes to dump it in, and banks it off the linesman. Saints regaining control here now with Braden Junker. Gives it behind the net for Evan Pejos. Now the Jackets force the turnover. Cade Shea had it in front for a moment, then the shot comes in, and the save is made by Risanen. On the left wing board, St. Scholastica territory. Shea with control there for the Yellow Jackets. It's pushed over to the right wing side now. Zach Lucier chasing it down. Up top, Jordan Gibbs at the right point. He tried to pass that one back down the wall. It's not going to go. 2-on-1 for the Saints. Back the other way. Junker from the left circle. A wrist shot. Stick save made by Jack Boschert. He's going to deflect that one over the glass and out of play. 17:59 to go here in this opening period. No score between the Yellow Jackets and St. Scholastica from Westman Arena in Superior. John Garver, Jason Rowan, Abby Hoffman. Happy to have you along on this Friday.
Junker almost looked like he fanned on that. It looked odd. He had a 2-on-1 and kind of got nothing on it.
I don't know if he healed it or what, because he got almost nothing on that shot. And it was a relatively pedestrian save for Jack Boschert, a two-time All-WIAC goaltender. Jackets win the face-off and play it back down into the St. Scholastica zone. Palffy has it on the left wing. He plays it to neutral. Jackets get it back now. Andrew Larson poke-checked at the St. Scholastica line. And the Saints come back the other way. Kenan Riles from the left circle. A shot that's going to be deflected away to the net. Now it comes back up to the right point. The shot taken there is going to catch traffic in front. I think it got Larson in the foot. And the Yellow Jackets come back the other way quickly to center. Lucier passes that one over onto the left wing. Now back into the high slot. That doesn't connect. And it comes back out into the neutral zone here. Now Lucier on the right wing. For Larson, right wing corner. He turns and tried to center, looking for Tuo Mioksa, but that one's not going to go. And St. Scholastica back the other way. Kenan Riles dumping it into Yellow Jacket territory. Ryder there first. Behind the net, he gives to Danziger. Danziger collides with Braden Panzer, who's the top scorer of this St. Scholastica club. It's going to be wrapped around the left wing boards and come all the way down. Icing's going to be waved off. Wyatt Wurst behind his goal. Passes that one over to the right wing. Rink wide feet on the left. Hops over the stick of Hunter Hansen, but he catches up to it now. Throws that one through the goal mouth. Puck ends up in the right wing corner where Panzer's got it. Now he turns it over. Tyler Ryder for the Jackets plays it behind the net and turns it right back over. Wyatt Wurst has it left point. Shot that's blocked in front by Riddle. Yellow Jackets regain control here. And it's going to be played to center by Alexei Yarmolnik. Puck into Saints territory now. Wyatt Wurst has it. Sophomore out of Edina, who was an All-American a year ago as a freshman. That doesn't happen all too often. I think the last one we had was Dylan Milan, the Yellow Jacket goaltender a few years back. Wurst has it now for St. Scholastica. He carries across the red into the Yellow Jacket zone. A shot from the left wing, kicked away by Boschert. Now Wurst behind his goal, stripped of the puck nicely by Liam Whitehouse. Whitehouse gives it to Bergstrom, and he'll go high off the right wing glass, all the way down, icing waved off. Ishmael behind the St. Scholastica net, comes out the left side with it here. Into the high slot, he feeds Gibbs at the right point. Now in the right circle, Kagawa carries to the slot, over to the left circle now. Kagawa takes the shot, he misses high. Gibbs at the right point, holds the zone, gives it right back to Kagawa. He's going to try it again. He's going to lap the zone and gets it to the left circle, plays it to the front of the net, and the save is made by Riisanen, and the Saints will clear that back out into the neutral zone. Now Wyatt Wurst has it for St. Scholastica. Up the left wing for Luke McCarthy. It gets just across the Yellow Jacket line. Jackets try to play it ahead. McCarthy intercepts, and the Saints come right back on the attack. Pejos across the Yellow Jacket line, gets around one, and the puck rolls off his stick. And the Jackets regaining control here now with Roosevelt up the right wing. Roosevelt across the Saints line, sends it deep. It comes around to the left wing boards where Dauphiné had it. Now Brennan for the Jackets has it. Brennan for Dauphiné left circle, wanted to go up top for Danziger, but the Saints sniffed that one out, and it's going to be cleared back to neutral ice. Now a turnover here, and it's going to be played in on goal. Boschert will make the save as Daniel Kroon was able to break up the play. He lost his footing, lost the puck at the same time, and it dribbles in on goal. Easy save for Jack Boschert.
Good start for St. Scholastica. They've come out flying tonight. They've been the faster team thus far. They've created some chances. They had the 1-2-on-1 opportunity. Really excellent road start for Coach Williams' team.
Face-off will be to Boschert's right with 14:50 to play here in the first period. Great pace so far. As the Jackets win the face-off, Lucier now to center with it here. He'll leave for Cade Shea. Shea on the right wing across the line, tries to float a pass into the slot. It's broken up. Larson for the Yellow Jackets pursues it to the right wing corner. Larson on the right side, had it, then lost it. Now Pejos has it for St. Scholastica. He'll pass it behind the net, and Braden Junker will come back to center with it here. Junker, a freshman from Elk River, Minnesota, plays it deep into Yellow Jacket territory. It comes down into the right wing corner. Ryder pins his man to the boards. Larson in there to help out. Gavin Gunderson for the Saints had it pinned to the wall. Now it gets it loose. Andrew Larson for the Yellow Jackets here. Up the left wing for Shea, but he couldn't handle the pass, and it comes back into Yellow Jacket territory. As we pass the 6-minute mark of this opening period, Yellow Jackets and St. Scholastica scoreless from Westman Arena in Superior. On the right wing boards now. Matthew Danziger got it to the Saints line, but no further. They did a good job standing the big man up, and it comes back into Yellow Jacket territory. Now Ryder. Up the middle, Danziger. He gets it on the backhand and flips it down into the St. Scholastica zone. Circling the net, Lawson Kimball. Kimball here now. Carries it to center, knocked off the play by Riddle. Yarmolnik on the left wing gets it to Riddle, who carries across the line. Carson Riddle now passes that one ahead, just out of the reach of Dusty Bergstrom, and the Saints are going to come back the other way quickly to center. Across the Yellow Jacket line, Jared Scott with a shot from the right circle, and Boschert gets the stick on that and deflects it out of play. And we're going to get a face-off once again here in the Yellow Jacket zone. Jared Scott, a junior from Kenosha, transferring in from UW River Falls. He's got 3 goals. Panzer's got 4, and that's 70% of the team scoring right there.
And I think 4 of their goals, which was like 40-some% for the season, have come on the power play. So
you are correct.
That's where it's happened.
Whitehouse behind his net, passes that one up the left wing for Reed, who deflects it down into the Saints zone. It comes around the boards, right wing side. Whitehouse right point to the middle. Bergstrom, his shot blocked. He gets it back. He'll pass it down behind the St. Scholastica net. Ishmael tied up along the end boards, but he gets loose. Had the puck and then lost it. And now back the other way come the Saints. Heads up as that one comes over the glass and out of play. And that is probably something that is going to happen more often here because new boards and glass at Westman Arena over the summer. And the glass is about 2 feet shorter. So heads up for the spectators here.
So I will no longer have to say, wow, that doesn't happen very often when a puck goes out of play here at Westman Arena.
It's going to be a more frequent thing.
Souvenirs for everybody.
Puck night here at Westman Arena. Face off to the left of goaltender Aino Risanen, controlled by the Saints. Wyatt Wurst passes up the left wing. It gets to the line, but Gibbs is able to hold. Setter battling along the right wing boards. In to help out Ishmael, and he'll flip it deep. Puck is behind the St. Scholastica net. Kieran Chung takes it there. He turned it over to Setter, but Setter couldn't quite corral that puck. Still manages to get back up and has it. Feeds in the slot for Brennan. His shot gets blocked. Puck is loose between the circles, and the Saints clear it to the right wing corner. Now Kieran Chung behind his net feeds it over. Wyatt Wurst on the right side. Up the right wing for Emmett Wurst. He tips it in, and that's going to be icing on the Saints as Wurst did get a stick on it, but he was on his own side of the red line. That is icing, and we're going to get a face-off back down here in the St. Scholastica zone to the right of goaltender Aino Risanen. 12-12 remaining here in this first period. Shots 4-1 St. Scholastica, but we have no score.
Been a quiet night for Risanen so far. That only shot on goal for UWS was actually kind of a pass from Kagawa.
We'll take it. Face-off controlled here by St. Scholastica. Chung banks it off the boards behind his net. Kagawa intercepts, gives it to Dauphiné in the left wing corner now. He carries up the half board. Puck flips down to the left corner. Kagawa got a glove on it. Clearing attempt held in by Ryder at the left point. Tyler Ryder down the left circle. Dauphiné behind the net. Roosevelt back for Dauphiné as he were coming in from a sharp angle, but he couldn't quite handle that pass, and the Saints clear. Now Ryder loses his footing, but gets it ahead on the right wing for Dauphiné, who dumps it in. Roosevelt gets there first. He's got it in the right wing corner. Roosevelt for the Jackets. For Kagawa behind the net, Dauphiné. Dauphiné comes out the right side. Danziger in the right circle. Now the right wing corner. Carries behind the net. Wraparound attempt left side. Riesenen's going to make the save, and the Saints will clear that back out to neutral ice. On the right wing boards now, Dauphiné tips it into Saints territory. It's going to be chased down by Junker. Braden Junker for the Saints. Moves it ahead for Hunter Hansen, left wing with speed across the Yellow Jacket line. He gets past Whitehouse and sends it deep. Panzer behind the net, run into by Bergstrom. The puck comes up the left side. Saints able to hold the zone. As we pass the 9-minute mark of the first period, Yellow Jackets and St. Scholastica scoreless. And we'll get a whistle as that one caught somebody on the Yellow Jacket bench, so we'll get a face-off here in Yellow Jacket territory.
That top line for UWS has won consecutive shifts now. Kagawa, Dauphiné, and Roosevelt creating in the offensive zone, using that speed, playing hard on pucks. Finally got to some of that down-low cycle that we were looking for. A couple of good shifts.
Face off in the Yellow Jacket zone. Behind the Yellow Jacket goal, it comes around to the left wing side. Played up to the point. Pejos with a shot that's going to get blocked, and now it's Cade Shea back the other way. Cade Shea left circle, fires and scores! Cade Shea goes short side. Jackets lead.
Cade Shea doing a great job turning defense into offense there, putting a little pressure on the puck carrier at the point, blocking a shot, causing a turnover, sending himself on a semi-breakaway. It looked like he dipped the shoulder, maybe got the goalie to look a little low, and he went high, right up over the top shoulder on the right side, over the blocker. Great shot there by Shea.
Second of the year for Cade Shea. Should be an unassisted goal. Time of that one, 9:18 of the opening period.
Yellow Jackets, his second goal of the season, number 12, Cade Shea. He gets that goal unassisted.
Jackets back on the attack on the right wing here. Molnick gives down low, and then Riddle wanted to put that one deep. It goes off a defender up over the glass and out of play. 10:21 remaining here in this opening period. Yellow Jackets with the 1-0 lead. As you just heard, Cade Shea's second of the year. The block shot. I'd like to call it a breakaway, but he was kind of parallel to a defender there. But regardless, great shot.
Yeah, he picked the corner. That was fantastic.
Jackets win the face-off. Brennan with a blast. That one gets blocked in front. Brennan gets it back. He sends it deep for Yarmolnik. Puck goes over to the right wing side now. Tuo Mioksa's got it. Banks it off the end board to Yarmolnik. Now up top, Brennan. Left point, Brennan. Down the boards, Yarmolnik. He'll feed Riddle on the left side. Back up top for Gibbs. His shot's going to be blocked in the high slot, and that'll go up over the glass and out of play.
Kroon took that one off the instep of his left foot. He stung a bit as he glides back to the bench there for St. Scholastica. Two tough shot blocks in a row there for the Saints during that sequence.
Reminder, if you can't get enough of the Yellow Jackets, tune into Eye of the Swarm, the official podcast of Yellow Jacket Athletics. Join me and the Big Sound Matt Johnson throughout the year as we sit down with Yellow Jacket student athletes, coaches, and other guests. Eye of the Swarm is available on uwsyellowjackets.com/podcast, Spotify, iTunes, or wherever you get your podcasts. Now look at the stats quick, Jason, and they've given St. Scholastica credit for 3 blocks. I think it's more than that because they've done a really good job of getting in front of pucks here.
Yeah, it's been difficult for UWS to get any kind of shot from the slot so far in this one, and that's partially credited to St. Scholastica just being willing to block shots, definitely.
They've had the Jackets, I think, they weathered that early storm. They've had the better part of the offensive zone time now, and they're starting to generate a few more opportunities, but obviously if the Saints are going to defend that many opportunities, then they're going to have to be ready for the number of pucks that are coming, and they're doing a good job getting in front of them.
Right, and good to see UWS respond. It definitely was going St. Scholastica's way for the first 5 minutes, but the last 5 minutes has been in UWS's favor.
9:58 to go here, opening period, 1-0 Yellow Jackets on the second of the year for Cade Shea. Feel bad for the young man because he had such a tough year last year with the injuries and everything. Now the Jackets control on the right side. This was Lucier playing that one out front, looking for Shea, but it doesn't connect him. Back the other way come the Saints. Hunter Hansen left side, a shot that gets blocked. Panzer behind the Yellow Jacket and tries to center. That one gets broken up. Andrew Larson's got it here for the Jackets. Gives behind the net for Tyler Ryder up the left wing. Shea tips it ahead, and Danzinger's going to clear. Panzer in the neutral zone, drives it back into Yellow Jacket territory. Boschert out of the goal, sends it over for Ryder, left wing up the middle. Dangerous pass there. Larson able to play it for Danzinger, who carries to neutral and then gives it back. Now Larson across the line, picks up some speed, pulls up left circle, gets taken down. Play is going to continue on. Yellow Jackets will complete a line change as the Saints clear it back to neutral ice. Now it's Whitehouse for the Jackets at the red line. He's going to flip that down into St. Scholastica territory. Riesenen sets it up for Wyatt Worst. Worst coming out from behind the net, passes over to the right wing. Junker takes it there, crosses the red and dumps it in. Luke McCarthy on the left wing for St. Scholastica. Sends it behind his Yellow Jacket net. Jackets come away with it here now. 3-on-2 to center with Ishmael across the line. Ishmael now carries to the right wing corner. Changes direction again, tries to get away from Worst. Cycles it for Clemenson, but he couldn't get a stick on it, and the Saints come back the other way. Kenan Riles carries across the Yellow Jacket line, banks it off the net. Out front they score. He banked it off the side of the net, Riles did. And Andrew Cumming picks it up, and he was able to beat Jack Boschert. The Saints answer.
Sometimes that's an intentional play. I'm not sure if that one was. He banked the puck off the bottom of the goal frame, and it basically took a sharp left turn and came right up the slot onto a waiting St. Scholastica stick. A great shot there to even the game at 1-1.
Time of that goal, 11:32. So the Yellow Jackets have the lead for just over 2 minutes. And we're back to even. Not a lot Jack Boschert can do, and it kicks right back up the middle like that.
Scoring the goal for St. Scholastica at 11:32 of period 1 was number 10, Andrew Cumming. He got an assist from number 11, Kenan Riles, and number 3, Luke McCarthy.
So McCarthy also gets an assist on that one. Jackets back on the offensive attack. Had it for a moment. Dauphiné had his shot blocked, and the Saints will clear. And that will result in icing. And a faceoff coming back into Saints territory. 8:03 remaining here in this opening period. Yellow Jackets and St. Scholastica tied 1-1.
Big response there by the Saints. They needed that. Build up a little confidence and stay in this game. Got the equalizer right away.
Face off to the right of Aino Riesenen. Dauphiné in to take the draw. Jackets have won 7 of 12 draws so far, and that was a sore spot through the 2 games last weekend. They had a tough time in the circle. Kagawa on the right wing boards, flips it to the left corner of the St. Scholastica zone. Dauphiné cycled it down low for Roosevelt. He gets away from a check. Now back for Kagawa, up to the left point. Ryder sends it deep. Dauphiné behind the net. Gets away from a check, comes around to the left wing side. Dauphiné left circle, gets away from Pejos, behind the net now for Roosevelt. Out front for Kagawa, the shot, and that one just misses wide. I don't know if the goaltender got a piece of it or if Kagawa just pushed it wide. Saints will get it in clear, and that's going to be icing. What a nice play off the forecheck there.
Yeah, great job by UWS, grinding down there below the goal line, creating an opportunity, and almost a goal for Kagawa right on the doorstep.
He struggled a little bit last weekend. 4 penalties. He equaled his output from his entire freshman year in 4 periods last weekend. And that was the best look he's had so far in his sophomore campaign. Face-off will be to the right of Riisanen with 7:18 to go here in the first. We're tied at 1. Jackets win the draw. Whitehouse takes the shot. It's blocked. Now the Jackets, Tuo Mioksa had it, and that pass is blocked, and the Saints come back the other way. Riley Giroux across the line. His centering pass intercepted on the back check nicely by Tuo Mioksa. And the Jackets come back the other direction with speed. Bergstrom up the left wing. A shot. Reason in the save. No rebound. And we're going to get a face-off in the St. Scholastica zone once again. So with that, the Jackets are finally even in shots at 5 apiece here.
Tuo Mioksa did a good job cleaning up his own garbage there. He tried to pass one through the tripod up to his defenseman at the point. Unfortunately, that pass got blocked and sent one of the Saints on a rush, but Tuo Mioksa chased him down, was able to get the puck away from him and lead the rush back the other way for UWS.
Saints control the face-off, and they're going to move it out into the neutral zone now. Gavin Gunderson on the right wing. He coughs it up just inside the yellow jagged line. Carson Riddle was able to stick handle his way to neutral before Gunderson gets it back. He sidesteps the stick check of Yarmalnik and dishes off for Hansen. Now centering feed for Panzer. His one-timer is going to miss wide. Riddle picks it up. Feeds Yarmalnik now, and he'll carry it ahead on the right wing. Yarmalnik's pass, intended for Tuo Mioksa, is out of his reach. Icing waved off. Right wing corner, St. Scholastica zone. Now Palffy comes out with it. Matej Palffy, big man, 6'6", 220. Got it ahead, but now the Saints are going to be whistled for an offside. Coming up during our first intermission, sponsored by Hovland Incorporated, we will have the latest installment of Where Are They Now? And a chance this week to catch up with the Duke, Don Dewell. The power forward, the straw that stirred the drink on the big line along with Glenn Lang and Chris Campbell back in the early 90s. So we'll catch up with the Duke during intermission number 1. St. Scholastica on the rush. Kieran Chung carries, and unfortunately for him, a teammate got in ahead of the biscuit, so we got another offside call.
Riles, a step offside there. Looked like he was trying to stretch out the coverage a little bit and got just a wee bit too deep in the offensive zone, so he couldn't get back out of the zone before the puck came in.
Puck bounces into the St. Scholastica zone. Chung chasing it down. Passes it over for Worst on the left side. Now he turned it over, but Cade Shea overskated that puck. And St. Scholastica back the other way. Luke McCarthy's pass knocked out of the air by Jordan Gibbs. He gives behind the net for Brennan. Up the left wing for Shea. He can't clear. Second attempt gets to the line and bounces over his stick. Wyatt Worst gets it back for St. Scholastica. And then throws that one up into his bench. So we'll get a face-off outside the St. Scholastica blue line. Check that inside the St. Scholastica blue line. Down to the right of goaltender Eino Riisanen. 5:41 remaining here in this first period. Yellow Jackets and St. Scholastica tied 1-1. Jackets win the faceoff. Ryder in the high slot. Dishes over now to the left circle. Back up top for Ryder. Down low for Reed, left circle. Throws it to the front of the net. Setter tried to get it to the goal, but it was poked away from him. Now Ishmael picks it up. Ryder left point. Danziger right point. He carries down the boards to the right corner. Dishes it off for Setter in the right circle now. He turns and fires. Reason in the save. Danziger on the doorstep looking for the loose puck. Takes a extra swipe at that. Luke McCarthy comes in at 5'9", and he is, 8 inches shorter than Danzy.
Yeah, that was funny. Like, the smallest guy on the ice just went up against the second biggest guy on the ice right there.
The fact that you have to say second biggest when talking about Matt Danziger tells you something.
Yes.
Face-off will be to Riesenen's left with 5:16 remaining here in this opening frame. Kroon has it for St. Scholastica. He flips it to the neutral zone. Bouncing puck gloved down by Ryder. He gives to Danziger on the right. Danziger crosses the red and flips it in. Didn't get enough on it, however, and Kroon has it once again. Daniel Kroon up the left wing, dumps it into the Yellow Jacket zone. Danziger pokes it up the right board. That's knocked down by Kroon. Ryder gets it back for the Yellow Jackets, sends it over to the left wing, and A.J. Reed's going to carry it to center. Crosses the red and dumps it in. Setter on the right wing. Ishmael right circle. Fires! He hit the crossbar. He pulled that one in just a little bit to change the angle and catches the iron. And that's going to be dumped back out into the neutral zone. Now Kagawa on the right wing. Crosses the St. Scholastica line. Kagawa for Dauphiné right circle. Dauphiné to Roosevelt, tried to chip that one to Kagawa, but it was picked off, and the Saints back the other way with Gunderson on the right wing. Gives to Hunter Hansen. He drives it down behind the Yellow Jacket goal. Comes around to the left side for Palffy, the biggest guy on the ice, and he plays it back down behind the net. Now Hansen tries to center. It hits a skate and comes right to the right side of the goal, covered up by Jack Boschert. And we're going to get a face-off here in the Yellow Jacket zone. So Chris Ishmael inches away, scoring his first actual shooting goal this year. Catches some iron.
Yeah, that was a great shot. There would have been no luck involved in that one. That would have been a snipe.
That's a goal scorer's goal right there, no doubt about that. 4:06 to go here in the first. Shot 6-5 Yellow Jackets. They were 5-1 at one point. Check that, 4-1. I don't know if the Saints have had a shot on net since they scored that goal. Palffy left point takes the shot. There's one and a save made by Boschert on the redirection in front. Now Dauphiné gets away from a check. Getting lumberjacked pretty good as he comes to center now. Across the red line into the Saints zone. Dauphiné stick handles around one man. Pushes it behind the goal. Palffy over to the right wing side, but the Yellow Jackets Roosevelt there first. Now for Kagawa, high slot. Gives it down low, trying to find Roosevelt going to the net, and it got through. Kicked away by Riisanen. Now in the right wing corner, Kagawa for the Jackets up top for Gibbs, right point. Over to the left point for Brennan. His shot actually hits Riddle in front. Riddle settles it down and gives Kagawa. Kagawa left corner. The smallest guy on the ice for sure there now with Iki Kagawa next to the biggest guy on the ice, over a foot difference. It's enough about that now. Riddle now to center. Nifty move to get away from one man. Moves it ahead on the left wing. Tuo Mioksa goes back up top, left point. Danziger drives it back down low. Yarmalnik on the right wing side as we pass the 17-minute mark of this opening period. Yellow Jackets and Saints tied at 1. Carson Riddle right wing side. Gives it into the slot. Danziger a shot, and that goes over the top of the net. Now Tuo Mioksa in the left wing corner. Tries to cycle for Yarmalnik, but Kieran Chung does a nice job interfering and running the pick play so his teammates can clear the zone. Puck comes back into Yellow Jacket territory. Ryder's pass intercepted in the neutral zone, and then it's going to be driven back in by Declan Young. Yellow Jackets regaining control in their own zone here as the Saints complete a line change. Tyler Ryder will speed up the left wing with it. He'll cross the red and dump it in. No, he won't. He's going to hit traffic in front of the Saints Scholastica bench. Puck comes loose. Ryder's got it again. He carries it this time across the Saints line, but in ahead of the play is Alexei Yarmalnik offside. And a neutral zone faceoff coming with 2:13 remaining here in the first. A lot of offsides this period.
A lot of offsides, yes. One challenge UWS has faced in the zone in this one is that when they've tried to go low to high, the Saints have done a great job applying quick and heavy pressure to the point men for UWS. There really hasn't been much time and space for those defensemen to get off a good shot or find a good passing option.
Puck dumped down into the St. Scholastica zone. It's played over to the left wing side. The clearing attempt knocked down by Liam Whitehouse. Whitehouse in the right wing corner, battling there with Braden Junker. In to help out is Zach Lucier. Puck worked free and comes to the line, held in at the right point by Shea. Now for Larson on the right wing boards. Whitehouse throws it behind the net looking for Lucier, but Pejos is going to intercept. Jackets get it back. Shea, nifty move, gets around one man, but lost the puck. And St. Scholastica will come back the other way. Kroon up the left wing. Crosses the red line and dumps it in. The puck is behind the Yellow Jacket net for Whitehouse here. He's had a good first period. He'll slide that one over to the left wing for Bergstrom. Now back to Whitehouse. He crosses the red into the St. Scholastica zone. Whitehouse right circle, a shot. Stick save made. Riisanen. Puck's going to be picked up by Gavin Gunderson on the right. He clears to neutral. Now backs it up into his own zone for Junker. Junker back to Gunderson. Rink wide pass broken up again by the Yellow Jackets. Whitehouse. And on the right wing, Lucier ahead for Shea. Tried to go back to Lucier, but it was picked off by Panzer. And we have under a minute to go here now in this opening period. Shea battling for the puck. It comes back behind the St. Scholastica net where Palffy's got it. Palffy passes that one ahead. It's going to come the distance, and that'll be icing on the Saints. 45.3 seconds remaining in this first period.
Big offensive zone face-off here for UWS. Under a minute left in the period.
Face off to Riisanen's right. Palffy exchanging stick work with A.J. Reed. Jackets control the face-off. Brennan, left circle, takes the shot. That's going to get blocked and tipped over the glass. Block number 12 for St. Scholastica here in this first period.
And as you mentioned, plenty of pucks out of play so far.
Mm-hmm.
We have to put some extensions in.
Yeah, get that 8-foot glass back, please.
All right, reset with 40 seconds remaining in the period now.
Once again to the right of Riisanen. Ishmael in to take the face-off. It ends up in the left corner where Setter gets there first. Gives for Reed, and he's taken into the boards by Wyatt Worst. Now Ishmael right side, up top for Gibbs right point. He'll give to Setter, who drives it deep. A.J. Reed behind the net. 25 to play in the period. Reed on the right wing, up top for Gibbs. At the left point, Brennan stick handles, fires it down low. Ishmael tried to tip it in front for Setter, but it was blocked. Ishmael gets it back. Left wing board. Ishmael now for Setter in the left corner with 10 seconds to play. The puck is going to be taken away here, and Jared Scott comes back to center. Puck played into the Yellow Jacket zone. Scott giving chase. He'll wrap it around the boards. Wyatt Worst on the left wing fires toward the net. And the horn will sound, bringing period number 1 to a close. Jackets drawing first blood, but I think by and large, Jason, really good opening period for St. Scholastica.
Yeah, the Saints came out skating fast, applying pressure, playing tight defense. I mean, I think that's almost a perfect road period if you ask their coaching staff, aside from the fact that they did give up the one goal.
I'm looking rinkside right now. Let's see, do we have coach, or did he forget already that we have a sideline reporter?
He's got some stuff to work on.
He's got
he wants
some
to get
things
in there and get
he wants
after
to talk to the fellows about here. He can't say he doesn't know, because I physically was down there and said, she's going to grab you at the end of the period.
Well, she could talk to one of the goalies who aren't playing right now and get their perspective. I mean, they always have interesting comments.
Yeah, Jan, what do you have to say? Unless coach is going to come back, maybe?
You know she's feeling great with us staring at her. She waves her arms. I don't know. Next time we'll have to tell her, just grab anybody.
Just grab somebody? That's okay. You know, it's not on her. It's not on her. Coach knows.
Yeah, we're working on stuff. It's a home opener.
You know,
I mean,
it's
game
one
night
for us too. You know, we're gonna have some stuff happen, and that is quite all right. So, at any rate, and eventually we're going to get to Abby Hoffman. But one period of the Bucks here at Westman Arena. It's a 1-1 tie. Yellow Jackets with 8 shots on goal. St. Scholastica with 6. Good period for the Yellow Jackets, but there's at least another gear there.
The Jackets had their moments. They won several shifts, but all in all, I don't think they're going to be happy with that period. They got outplayed for some stretches of it, and I think they believe they're the better team. And I think as a result of that, they would have liked to have won more shifts than they did win. credit to St. Scholastica, though. I mean, they were stingy. They blocked a lot of shots. Mm-hmm. They were tight on defense, really good in their own zone. The only goal being the Cade Shea goal that came off a blocked shot that he turned into a semi-break himself. So really good defensive period for St. Scholastica, making it really hard for UWS to generate much in the offensive zone.
Yellow Jackets 1, Saints 1 after 20. We'll take a timeout and come back with our first intermission, sponsored by Hovland Incorporated. My interview with former Yellow Jacket Don Dewell coming up right after this. This is Yellow Jacket Hockey on 91.3 KUWS Superior and Yellow Jacket TV, an affiliate of the WIAC Sports Network. First intermission, and as always, the first intermission is sponsored by Hovland Incorporated, and it's time now for our most recent edition of Where Are They Now, when we take a look back and find out where the Yellow Jackets of the past are these days. And it's my pleasure to be joined by the Duke. Don Dewell is joining us here this week. So, Duke, I like to start all of these off the same way. Why don't you give us an idea of where is Don Dewell now?
Well, I'm in Grand Rapids, back where I grew up. Got a 17-year-old kid. We are busy with sports. I'm busy. I've been a general contractor in town here since 2001. So as you know, the fall, everybody wants stuff done. I'm very, very busy. Had a nice business going for 20 some odd years, doing general construction, coached hockey up until about 2 years ago. I'd been involved with the hockey program, and now it's just time to watch Jameson play. So, pretty simple.
What got you started in the construction business? Is that something you were doing as a younger guy when you were like your summer job in high school, college, or what brought you down that path?
You know, I always liked to build stuff, and then after playing at UWS, I went to school to be in law enforcement down in the cities, and it didn't really fit me that good. So I started working for a friend down there, and really liked the building, and it was my way to get back to Grand Rapids. So it was started my own business, started small, bought a couple tools, and now we're doing $1 million homes. And it's been very rewarding and given me a little freedom to do what I want.
We were talking before we started recording here that you recently completed a large addition on Reed Larson's house. Reed obviously is a fellow alum of ours and was a member of that 2002 national championship team. And you basically doubled the size of his house. So it's been a good racket for you.
Yes, very good. Yeah, I got a lot of friends that I've met over the years from the cities and all over that move up to Grand Rapids to build their dream house. And I've met a lot of people through building. So it's been rewarding, and it's given me freedom, I would say, a lot of times not.
Right.
But yeah, it's been good.
You also mentioned coaching a little bit in there. So talk about your coaching life.
Well, after I was out of hockey for a little bit after college. It was a grind, and I moved back to town here, and Grant Bischoff is a good friend of mine, and he had young kids, so he was looking for another coach. So I got into it at an early age and coached all his kids all the way. And then I had my son, and I started in the mites and the squirts and the peewees and bantams and done all levels. And that's a lot of fun. You know, getting to know all the parents, the road trips. It's a grind, but it's fun. I had a lot of fun doing it. I thought about getting back into it, but boy, the time off is nice. It's, you know, instead of going to the rink at 10 o'clock at night, you know, you can sit down and watch a movie or something and say, I'm getting older, you know.
Mm-hmm. Do you still skate or play pickup games yourself?
I haven't for about 3-4 years. There's a whole group of us that played every Wednesday. We called it the noon game. And it was all ex-NHL players, college players, just a great skate. We did it every Wednesday at noon. So it's been a few years since I've done that. Started pulling grinds and, you know, hurting shoulders and things like that, because you can't ever take the compete out of you.
Let's dive into your time here at UWS and talk about that a little bit. And first off, how did you end up here?
Steve Nelson recruited us down in Sioux City, and you know, it was probably the last place I'd looked at going to play. But he was due diligent, and he kept coming to watch us play, and I like talking to him. I like how he recruited. I like the school, smaller, being close to Grand Rapids. So yeah, I came up. I think Chris Campbell and Travis Zaratka, Daryl Gallegos. We were all playing down there, and we all went on a trip and liked it. So that's where let's get on the. I was at St. Cloud at the time.
Okay.
And Campbell was at Grand Forks. We were all kind of spread around, and things weren't going great for us in the D1 area. So we all got on the horn. So let's go to Superior. So that's kind of how it happened, and they loved it. Yeah.
I think it worked out pretty well because you were part of that group that kind of took the big step from, okay, the program is getting better, to now it's a powerhouse.
Yeah, exactly. I think the first year we could only play half the season, and I think they won just a handful of games that year. And then the next year was a big year for us. So it grew and it helped get some recruits in there, and I think they've done well ever since.
You were also the person that played on the line with Lang and Campbell. So talk to me about playing with those guys.
Just get them the puck. I was kind of the guy, the corner man, and you know, I'd get Langer the puck or Soup, and they could score. Obviously, you know, 199, 198 points in 90 games or something, and yeah, it was fun to play with those guys for sure. Langer, we still talk, you know, every now and then. Soup's up in my cabin all the time. We're still hang out and still talk about the glory days for sure.
It's pretty amazing how tight the bond gets, isn't it? And we do talk about this with a lot of guys. I had a guy on last week from British Columbia, and they have a group chat with the 3 guys that they lived with. And I know it's no different here than anywhere else, but it really is a special thing coming through this program, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It was, you know, we're the time, I would say, you know, you're kind of disappointed you're not playing Division I, but when you get there and you lace them up and you're playing against, you know, half the teams got guys that can play Division I hockey, it just didn't work out. So it was fun to get there and compete like that and have a coach like Nelly that really pushed us. And you know, it was it was fun to be part of a program that we grew a little bit, maybe.
That's the Duke, Don Duell. As we mentioned, he was the power forward with the 2 top all-time scorers here at UW Superior, Glenn Lang and Chris Campbell, and the Duke was on the right wing with those 2 guys. And wow, what a magical line that those 3 guys put together. You look at the numbers that Glenn Lang put up in just 3 seasons here. I mean, 188 points. Are you kidding me? Had a 71-point season. I mean, that's a career.
Sometimes it just clicks, and obviously talent is a part of it, but there's just a synergy sometimes in addition to the talent that makes it work. You know it well. I know it well. It just fits with some people, and it sounds like that was one of those lines.
Yeah, it absolutely was, and unfortunately, that was before my time. I did not get a chance to ever see the 3 of them play together. I never got to see Glenn Lang in action. clearly the man could play, the man could score some goals. He got a cup of coffee in professional hockey when he was done here. By all accounts, he didn't go by the rule of where to cut off a stick. He used his lumber was one of the longer sticks, but he could win draws with it. He could fish pucks out of corners with it. He could deflect shots with it. So it was definitely not an impediment to his game whatsoever. We're about 5 minutes away from the start of the second period. The Yellow Jackets and St. Scholastica tied 1-1 at Westman Arena. We'll take a quick break and come back with more of our first intermission, sponsored by Hovland Incorporated, right after this. This is Yellow Jacket Hockey on 91.3 KUWS Superior and Yellow Jacket TV, an affiliate of the WIAC Sports Network. Westman Arena, just under 3 minutes away from the start of this second period. The Yellow Jackets and St. Scholastica tied 1-1 after 20. Cade Shea with his second of the season at 9:18, giving the Yellow Jackets the 1-0 lead. St. Scholastica tying at Andrew Cumming his first at 11:32. Shots on goal in the first period favoring the Yellow Jackets at 8-6, and no penalties. So there's that discipline piece you were talking about, because that goes both ways. That's not just for the Yellow Jackets, but that's both ways, and they kept it clean.
Absolutely. I mean, there was an amazingly small amount of nonsense, actually really none in that first period. There were a couple of instances where I thought maybe there might be a tripping call, but there was definitely none of the chippy stuff that sometimes is a part of this rivalry.
Yeah, you kind of expected coming in, especially talking to Coach before the game, and he said, things got a little spicy when they met a couple weeks ago in that exhibition game. So you're thinking, okay, maybe we are going to see some of that action here tonight. But no, absolutely nothing. And you'd be hard-pressed to find 4 hits in that first period. It wasn't the most physical game.
No, it was tight checking, but not hard hitting in that first period. I think you've got an instance where St. Scholastica is really trying to find its game. They're not looking to get involved in any nonsense, at least not up to this point tonight. They really want to try to find their best style of play after kind of a tough start to the season. And UWS is looking to establish itself as well early in the season, and not so much in a banging physical way, but in a coherent, cohesive offense kind of way. So far so good in terms of discipline and clean play in this one.
Awaiting the arrival of each team, the referees are back on the ice. We'll be moments away from the start of period number 2. Yellow Jackets back home tomorrow night here at Westman Arena. 7:05 face-off, 6:30 pregame as they take on Bethel. And there's no doubt that that's going to be another stiff contest. Bethel's a very well-coached team. They beat the Yellow Jackets a year ago in a game down in the Twin Cities, and that was one that I know we got back on the bus, and the man in the front seat on the right-hand side wasn't too happy.
Not a happy camper after that one.
So we'll be hoping for something a little bit better here from Westman Arena tomorrow. Teams have returned to the ice. The Yellow Jackets will be defending the goal to our right. 5 saves in the first for Jack Boschert, and the Yellow Jackets will be going right to left across your radio dial.
Not a high volume of shots that Boschert faced in that first period, but it was a hard first period for him. The shots he faced were a little tricky, some odd bounces, some pucks that found their way to him unexpectedly. It was a challenging period despite a low volume of shots on goal.
Yeah, he had some traffic in front of him and some redirections there, so it was definitely a bit of a tricky period for Yellow Jacket goaltender Jack Boschert. 5-on-5 hockey to start period number 2 here at Westman Arena. I am John Garber. He is Jason Arone. At some point today at ringside, Abby Hoffman will join us. Hopefully she gave Coach the stink eye as he came walking back to the bench here for period number 2. The Yellow Jackets controlling the faceoff. Matt Danzinger's got it here. I was just going to say he's not on the bench, and there he comes running back in. Puck is dumped back down into the Yellow Jacket zone now. Ryder up the left wing. Reed tried to tip it to the middle for Ishmael. It was blocked. Ishmael gloving that puck out of the air now as it's tied up in skates. Panzer digging away for St. Scholastica. Able to poke it loose for Ryder. Ryder gets away from Hunter Hansen. Gives up the left wing for Reed, who tips it out to center ice. Ishmael now got it to the St. Scholastica line where they will regain control. Wyatt Wurst has it here. Into the middle for Andrew Cumming, the goal scorer. He'll move it ahead for Gunderson on the right wing, and it's dumped down into the Yellow Jacket zone. Out of the net is Boschert. Right on the left wing for Reed. Now for Ishmael. He'll cross the red and dump it into the Saints zone, right wing corner. Puck gets banked off the wall, came right into the right circle, but the Saints get there before A.J. Reed can. Now the puck in the high slot, gets past Bergstrom out to center ice. Setter picks it up there, and he'll dump it back in. Puck is behind the St. Scholastica net. Junker sends that one ahead on the left wing. Jackets able to break that one up. Now in the neutral zone, it's Whitehouse. He goes to dump it in and catches somebody on the Yellow Jacket bench. And we'll get a face-off outside the St. Scholastica blue line. 18:37 remaining here, second period. Yellow Jackets and Saints tied 1-1.
Everybody up and ready to go on the bench right now, and some gloves definitely hanging over the edge. That little chip looked so good. Kagawa was in full flight, but must have caught somebody in the mitts.
Bergstrom for the Yellow Jackets. Sends it into the Saints zone. It comes down behind the goal here. Palfy passes over to the left wing. Jackets break it up. Saints get it back. Now Kroon dishes to the middle for Giroux. Now back for Kroon, but that's going to be out of his reach, and another icing call.
Staccato start to the second here.
Yes. The only guy I've ever done a game with that's used the word staccato.
You're welcome.
Got to question what it is, go get your Roget's thesaurus and find out. Larson in to take the draw for the Jackets. He'll face off against Emmett Wurst. Jackets control it. Shea leaving it for Bergstrom at the left point. A little too much mustard on that one. Bergstrom able to recover. It's going to come back around behind the St. Scholastica net. Kroon tips it. It's going to get past Lucier at the right point, and that's going to come all the way back down. Puck behind the Yellow Jacket net now. Over to the left side for Larson. He flips that in the air. Glove down in the neutral zone by Kroon. Back over to the left wing side for Declan Young. Young for the Saints plays it behind the Yellow Jacket net. Emmett Wurst there, back behind the net. Young centering pass is pushed right back behind the net. Kimball pinching down from the point. Jackets get it up the left wing, and Shea's going to clear that to center. Icing waved off. Jackets will change personnel here with 2.5 elapsed in this second period. Jackets and Saints tied at 1. Puck played ahead at center now. Riles tips it into Yellow Jacket territory. Gibbs tied up behind the net. Comes to the right wing corner. Now up to the right point. Slid over to the left point. Wyatt Wurst a long shot and a save by Boschert. Riles in the left corner. Up top for Wyatt Wurst. His shot tipped in front goes wide. Now Brennan for the Yellow Jackets gives it to Jordan Gibbs. Gibbs over to the left wing for Larson. That one goes off of his foot into the St. Scholastica zone. Wyatt Wurst again for the Saints. Flips to neutral. Glove down by Gibbs. Gibbs now carries up the left side across the Saints line. Riles wrestles him off the puck. Yarmalnik has it now. Feeds it for Brennan, right point, a shot that goes off the glove of Riisanen. Back up top, right point, Brennan again. Takes the wrister, glove save Riisanen, he'll hold on. Face-off coming up here in the St. Scholastica zone. 16:35 to play here, second period. Yellow Jackets and Saints tied at 1.
Riisanen did a nice job tracking that puck through some traffic there from the point. It's been difficult to generate any grade A scoring chances for either team thus far.
A.J. Reed along the end board for the Yellow Jackets. Carried into the right corner, then lost it. Pejo sends it ahead. Danziger steps into the puck carrier Hansen, but he moves it up the left wing. Gunderson out front for Panzer going to the net, but it's just out of his reach, and now the Yellow Jackets back on the attack. A.J. Reed tips it into the Saints zone. The puck comes to the left corner. Saints quickly back the other way. Gunderson up the right wing. Falls down. Loses the puck, and Tyler Ryder flips it back into Saints territory. Played back behind the St. Scholastica goal around to the right wing side. Gunderson drops it off for Pejos. He's going to lose the handle on it. It comes all the way into Yellow Jacket territory. Flipped out to neutral ice by Ryder. Now Ishmael for the Yellow Jackets has it poked off his stick. Following the play, Danziger. Danziger across the Saints line takes the shot. Save is made by Riisanen, and the rebound cleared away. At the right point, Ryder holds the zone. Danziger a long shot that gets blocked. Ishmael now had it poked off his stick in the right circle. St. Scholastica coming back the other way with Jared Scott. And he'll dump it into the Yellow Jacket zone. Bergstrom up the left wing for Kagawa. That's not going to go. Now Ryder's got it. Feeds it ahead for Kagawa. 3-on-2 at center. Dauphiné for the Jackets across the line, left circle, but his pass is blocked. Bouncing puck in the left circle. Dauphiné tried to turn and fire, but that was blocked as well. Dauphiné right wing corner. Works his way to the right circle. Gets back up after falling down. Feeds it up top. Whitehouse takes the shot. It's blocked. Familiar refrain here in this one tonight. Hahn for St. Scholastica sends that one ahead. Coming on the right wing. Throws that one to the middle. Jackets break it up now, and it's Kagawa back the other way. Mishandles just ever so briefly. Otherwise, he was gone. Floats it in on net looking for Bergstrom, but it was out of his reach. Now it's Dauphiné right wing side. He'll pass behind the net for Roosevelt. Roosevelt tied up along the boards by Hahn. Kagawa in there. Kieran Chung introducing his stick to the lower back of Vicky Kagawa. Puck tied up right in front of that beautiful 91.3 KUWS Dasher board advertisement. Now it's going to be worked free and played over to the left wing corner, and the Saints are going to pitchfork that out to neutral ice. Jordan Gibbs chasing it down for the Yellow Jackets, banks it off the end board for Brennan. Sam Brennan for the Yellow Jackets. Ahead at center for Shea on the right wing. Shea across the St. Scholastica line. Gives it down low for Lucier. Zach Lucier in the right wing corner. Plays it back up the boards as we pass the 6-minute mark of this second period. Shots 11-7 Yellow Jackets, and we're tied at 1. In the neutral zone. Giroux for the Saints. Had it, then lost it. Puck flipped down into Yellow Jacket territory. Behind the net, it's Gibbs. Puck in the left wing corner, Yellow Jacket zone. Larson in there digging away for it. He'll come away with it and then turn it over behind his net. Rielt's pinned to the end boards by Brennan, who I feel like has been on the ice for a couple minutes here. Gibbs has his man tied up left corner. Puck is in their skates ever so loosely, and finally the Yellow Jackets are going to work it free and come to center. Larson ahead for Lucier across the St. Scholastica line. Zach Lucier right wing side. Tried to center, and that one is going to be broken up and cleared. Jackets will regroup in the neutral zone with Brennan, giving it back for Ryder. Ryder across the red line. He'll dump it into the Saints zone, left wing corner. Chung chases it down, turns it over behind the net. Carson Riddle's got it here for the Jackets now. Riddle feeds it behind the goal for Tulo Mioksa. Up top, left point, Ryder floats that one in on goal, and that's going to be swallowed up by Riisanen. He'll hang on. And we're going to get a face-off here in the St. Scholastica zone.
Incredibly tight checking right now. Just impossible to generate any kind of offense. Very difficult to even generate speed moving a puck out of the zone.
You know, it's funny, I said, remember last year, I don't know if you remember the Stout game here last year, but it was every inch of ice was contested for 60-plus minutes. That's what tonight is kind of like.
And that one, if I remember
but it was
correctly,
much more
was
physical.
Really physical,
yes.
Right, yeah. And this one is just as hotly contested, but not as physical.
Danzinger up the right wing with a shot. That goes wide. Ryder holds at the left point, goes to Riddle in the left corner. Pejos relieves him of the puck. And the Saints are going to flip that back out into the neutral zone. It gets up on end and comes the distance. Icing will be waived. Ryder for the Yellow Jackets. Has it taken from him by Panzer. Riddle gets it back, then turns it over. Gunderson loses it. It comes up top. Junker with a shot from the left circle and the save made by Boschert. Panzer now for St. Scholastica. Gives it to Hunter Hansen, left circle. Puck still free. Jackets cleared away from trouble. It comes off the bench, and a quick shot's going to be taken by Cumming, gloved by Boschert. Crowd loved it. It was going to go over the top of the net, but a little showtime doesn't hurt. And the faceoff will be here in the Yellow Jacket zone.
Got to have something to get excited about. It's been kind of a murky 8 minutes here so far. A little glove save, that'll do it.
11:55 remaining. Second period, we're tied at 1. Bergstrom for the Jackets starts it ahead on the right side. Banks that off the boards, and it's going to come all the way down and be an icing call.
I thought Bergstrom was going to shoot that right into the backup goalie's glove on the bench. The goalie did too. He brought his glove up in just like perfect catching position. I think he missed it by about 4 inches. At any rate, the face-off ends up in the same spot either way.
Which is back to the right of Jack Boschert. 11:45, so it wasted 10 seconds of our time. Setter on the right wing for the Jackets gets it to neutral and sends it into the Saints zone. Icing waved off. Pejos and Reed go after it. Pejos braced for the hit, and Reed went right around him. Puck loose below the goal line, but the Saints will come out with it here, and they're going to lug it back to neutral ice. Jackets break it up. Saints get it back. On the right wing now, it's fed into the high slot for Cumming. He goes back down to the right circle for Scott. Scott tied up and thrown to the ice. Puck comes back out front. The shot by Cumming, right circle. Boschert makes the save. Now the Saints again. Cumming takes the shot again, and the save is going to be made by Boschert. He'll hold on to this, and there's going to be a line change coming here because Jackets didn't like that shift in the D zone at all.
No, that was not good. There was way too much time and space in prime scoring areas for St. Scholastica.
Dauphiné in to take the draw for the Yellow Jackets, who have won 18 of 29. And they scored right off the faceoff. Riley Giroux beats goaltender Jack Boschert, and the Saints are in front.
Giroux false started on this faceoff from the right wing spot, but then was able to stop, hold for half a beat, and then continue. And the faceoff was won right back into his wheelhouse. He took 2 steps and fired the shot far side and in.
First of the year for Riley Giroux. Time of that goal, 8:05. And for the first time tonight, the Jackets find themselves trailing. Let's see how they rally. At center, Roosevelt gives chase. He's got it on the left wing. Gives down low for Dauphiné at the left of the net. Dauphiné now along the end board, gets loose.
Scholastica was number 39, Riley Giroux. He got an assist from number 17, Emmett Wurst. That's Giroux from Wurst.
The time right off the faceoff. Again at 8:05 of period number 2.
And that's apropos of the way this period has been. So hard to create offense. An O-zone face-off win, a set play, boom, and it's in the back of the net.
Face-off is going to be to the left of goaltender Riisanen of St. Scholastica. Larson in to take it for the Yellow Jackets here, but the Saints win the draw. Wyatt Wurst will flip that out into the neutral zone. Knocked down by Gibbs, but the Saints come away with the puck. Hunter Hansen tried to center it out front. Jackets block it. Andrew Larson back the other way up the right wing. Crosses the St. Scholastica line. Gives it to Cade Shea. Throws it in front looking for Lucier, but that puck was bouncing. Right wing boards, Shea up top. Brennan right point shot out front. Right there uncovered was Lucier, but Riisanen makes the save. And now Chung back the other way for the Saints. Yellow Jackets regain control with Larson. His pass intended for Lucier is intercepted. And the Saints will get it and dump it back in as we pass the 10-minute mark of this second period. 2-1, St. Scholastica leading. Lucier on the right wing. Fails to get a stick on that, and it's going to be an icing call on the Yellow Jackets.
As you mentioned, Lucier all alone out front there. Would have been a prime opportunity. Unfortunately, he was not able to redirect that long shot.
Face-off will be to Boschert's right. Good crowd here tonight, too. I think they want to yell about something. So hopefully the Jackets give them something to yell about. Larson will do the honors against Cumming. Jackets they got guys flying all over the place. It's like Canadian football. Multiple guys going off the line of scrimmage, and then we get a whistle and our first penalty of the evening.
Hooking will be the call right off the face-off.
Is it going to be Lucier going to the box? No.
Jackets obviously didn't want to have the same fate dealt to them off that draw, so they were being very attentive to their coverage and trying to make sure they tied everybody up, and unfortunately tied them up a little too much there.
10-12 of the second period is the time. Jordan Gibbs to the box for a hook. First power play to the Saints. And as you mentioned, Jason, 4 of their 10 goals coming into tonight came with the man advantage. So Jackets got their work cut out for them here. Panzer on the right wing. Goes down toward the corner. Now sends it back up top. Wyatt Wurst right point. Panzer right wing side. Throws that over to the left. Hunter Hansen for Wyatt Wurst. Now back up high slot. Hansen tried to feed Panzer in the right circle, but he couldn't handle the pass. Tyler Ryder for the Jackets has it below the end board, or below the goal line, along the end board. That's what I was trying to say. Comes up to Wyatt Wurst at the right point. He'll give it down for Panzer right half board. Into the slot, Gunderson tried to dust that one off a little bit, and getting a stick on it was Justin Dauphiné. And then he'll send that all the way down the ice. Yellow Jackets will have a wholesale change of penalty killers here as Wyatt Wurst circles his neck and carries to center. He crosses the Yellow Jacket line. Stick handles his way around Brennan. It comes around now to the right wing side. McCarthy for St. Scholastica with under a minute to go in the power play. Up top, Pejo's at the right point. Couldn't handle that pass. It goes off his foot out into the neutral zone. St. Scholastica will regroup. Inside his own line, Pejo's. Comes into the Yellow Jacket zone. Right circle. Throws it into the slot. Quick shot misses high as Scott tried to go top shelf. Now McCarthy gives it down low for Kroon behind the net. Scott for St. Scholastica gives that one off the boards. Chung in the high slot gives that over to the left circle. Pejo's the one-timer, misses wide, and that's going to come all the way down. Yellow Jackets will change all 4 penalty killers again. Saints going back slowly to pick it up in their own zone. Chung ahead for McCarthy. Rink-wide feed on the right. Comes into the Yellow Jacket zone. Everybody overskates the puck there. Yarmolnik will take it there, and he'll flip it back down into the Saints zone. Final seconds will tick off the penalty. So the Jackets have killed it off as the puck gets dumped into Yellow Jacket territory, and then unhappy Matt Danziger as Kenan Riles came in and gave Jack Boschert a little bit of a snowstorm. And we'll get a face-off here in the Yellow Jacket zone. A reminder that Yellow Jacket fans get the same gear the Yellow Jackets wear by visiting the Yellow Jacket Sideline store. Browse the latest styles of gear, including shirts, shorts, sweatshirts, outerwear, and more. The Yellow Jacket Sideline store can be found at uwsyellowjackets.com/shop.
Well, Jackets dodged a bullet there, got the penalty kill they needed, stayed perfect on the penalty kill for the season. See if they can generate some offense now and a little bit of momentum from that kill.
You know, they came out the first couple of minutes this period and put a few shots on net right away. I don't think there was anything of great quality there, but they were at least getting some rubber on net, which for my liking, coach will say something different, but for my liking, I didn't think last weekend they did a good enough job getting pucks to the nets. They were at least doing some of that, but then they kind of fell into that lull. You know, and they haven't had that same hop that we saw in the first period.
Yeah, I agree, but it hasn't necessarily looked like a lack of effort either.
No, I'm not saying that at all.
They're trying, but they're just not generating anything right now. They've been a little disconnected. They haven't exactly been clicking great on passes and breakouts. And credit to St. Scholastica, they've gummed it up and made it difficult to move the puck.
Absolutely. Playing a perfect road game, if you will.
Absolutely.
Face off to Boschert's left, 7:43 remaining. Shots deadlocked at 13. Saints up 2-1. Face off controlled here. The Jackets have it. Bergstrom Ahead at center for Yarmalnik. He tips it in. It's on goal. Reasonen slides that one away. Now behind the net, Hans got it for St. Scholastica. Banks that one off the boards. Takes a membership bounce, and Riddle's got it here. Carson Riddle for the Jackets. Carries down to the right wing corner. He'll go up top to the blue line, but Emmett Wurst is going to clear that out into the neutral zone. Yellow Jackets will regain control. Yarmalnik backing it up. Passes that one ahead, trying to spring Riddle behind the D. Then Tuo Mioksa overskates the loose puck. And Riley Giroux back the other way across the Yellow Jacket line. His shot blocked. Emmett Wurst has it behind the Yellow Jacket. Feeds it out front. They score. Riley Giroux coming right down the slot, uncovered. And Wurst finds him. It's 3-1.
The initial shot took a bounce off the end boards and ended up right on the back of the goal frame, and Jack Boschert was sliding to his right, then back to his left, and then looking back over to his right, and then back over to his left, trying to figure out where the puck was going to come from. Meanwhile, that centering pass was right on the tape. Boschert really had no idea where the shot was coming from. It was past him before he could even see it.
So 3-1, St. Scholastica's got the lead. The Jackets got some work to do here. They got some work to do.
Game number 39, Riley Giroux. He got an assist from number 17, Emmett Wurst, and number 11, Kenan Rielts.
So it's two helpers for Wurst and two helpers for Rielts. And I wonder if something is afloat, because I notice Jan Skorpik has walked away from his chair and could potentially be getting limber, maybe? I don't know. At any rate, Jackets got to find a way to not be quite so flat here tonight as the Saints clear it out to neutral. Jackets get it back on the left wing. Dauphiné tried to push it down to the corner, but that broken up. Bouncing puck in the high slot, ends up at center now. On the right wing, it's Gunderson across the line. Gavin Gunderson for the Saints tried to center. Jackets blocked that. Hunter Hansen, right wing corner, carries behind the Yellow Jacket net. Centering feed out front. Goes off the glove of Boschert. Now Pejos has it here. Feeds that into up to the blue line. Shot from the left point. Taken by Junker, is going to skip wide of the net. Puck is going to be played back up to the line again. Now back behind the Yellow Jacket net. Dauphiné has it here. His pass intended for Kagawa is going to come to center. Backing up with it, Junker for St. Scholastica. They've been playing keep away here in the second period. They've had the puck the entire time. They dump it into the Yellow Jacket zone. Wicked hop off the door, comes right into the slot. Sam Brennan recovers it for the Jackets and carries it to center. Brennan up the right wing to Kagawa going to the net, but he's tied up. Brennan behind the net, had it, then lost it, and now the Saints are going to come back the other direction. Wyatt Wurst has it. He's going to slide that one ahead out of the reach of McCarthy. It comes all the way down, and that's going to be an icing call on the Saints. 5:27 to go here, second period, 3-1 St. Scholastica.
Sorry, John. No second chances for UWS right now either. If they do manage to get a shot on goal, it's one and done every time.
Yeah, it's been a difficult stretch here for the Jackets. They're having a hard time getting anything going. They're not sustaining forecheck. Anything along the wall is kind of being won by the Saints here tonight. Face-off controlled by the Saints. Chung behind his net, knocked off the play by A.J. Reed, who then gets knocked off his skates. In to help out Ishmael for Reed behind the goal. Reed turns it over. Left wing corner, St. Scholastica's zone. Blake Setter takes one in the teeth. Stays after the puck. Now Ryder's got it here. Ryder tried to center. It's blocked by Reasonen. And the Saints are going to come back the other way with McCarthy. Luke McCarthy with speed up the left wing. Takes the shot. Boschert makes the save. It's loose in the left wing corner. Yellow Jacket zone. Ryder's got it there. Under 5 to play second period. 3-1 St. Scholastica. Danziger for the Jackets here. Ahead on the left wing for Setter. He deflects that one, trying to go in the zone with it, and puts it up into the Yellow Jacket bench. Heads up, coach.
We may have to tell our rinkside reporter to run for cover after this one.
In the neutral zone, Bergstrom's got it for the Jackets here, and he dumps it in. Right wing corner, Cade Shea for the Yellow Jackets. Spins away from a check. Shea, left wing corner. Pressured there by Lawson Kimball. Now the puck worked free, and the Saints come away with it here. Up the left wing, it's Drew Agnew sending it into Yellow Jacket territory. Puck in the left wing corner. Yellow Jacket zone. Played up to the left point, Palfy. Over to the right point, out of the reach of Kimball. He'll get the puck and chop it over to the left wing corner. Whitehouse runs into his man. Riddle in there as well. Puck fed up to the line at the left point, Palfy. Right point, Kimball out front of redirection right in the slot by Declan Young, and Boschert makes the save. He'll hang on to that. And we'll get a face-off here in Yellow Jacket territory once again. Shots now 17-14 St. Scholastica, meaning 11-6 here in this second period. That seems about right.
Jackets are on the ropes right now. A lot of slumped shoulders on the players going back to the bench. No confidence, no jump.
Puck is behind the Yellow Jacket net now to the right wing corner. Gibbs giving chase. In to help out Dauphiné. He goes to clear. Pejos holds that in. Gives it off on the right side and is sent deep by Kroon. It comes over to the left wing corner. Giroux, he's tied up. Dauphiné in to help out. Saints come away with the puck. It's Kroon. Jackets are just getting outworked. Saints are moving their feet more, and they're outworking the Jackets along the boards. Roosevelt on the right wing tips it out to the neutral zone. Saints dump it back in. Boschert will set it up. Gibbs behind the goal. I agree with that fan. Let's go. Dauphiné up the left side. Sends it into St. Scholastica territory. Pejos plays it back up the boards. Dauphiné intercepts and drives it back deep. Panzer pressured by Kagawa. Flips that out to neutral ice. Puck's coming in toward the goal. Boschert out. Sweeps that one away. Gets it to Setter on the right wing. Now in the center face-off circle, Kagawa dumps it into St. Scholastica territory. On the left wing side, Ryder. Pinned to the boards in the corner by Pejos. In to help out Setter. Up top, Danziger takes the shot. That just misses wide to the left. Reed giving chase. Hunter Hansen there first for St. Scholastica. Defender falls down. Behind the net, Ishmael had it. That the defender who fell down still managed to get the poke check. Clearing attempt knocked down at the line by Danziger, but now the Saints get it back and send it into the Yellow Jacket zone. Setter dumps it back out. Pejos gets poke check now, and it's A.J. Reed coming in behind the D. He gets hooked, and it's going to be a penalty on St. Scholastica. Delayed penalty call as Boschert makes his way to the bench. And A.J. Reed working his way behind the defense off the turnover, draws the penalty, and the power play has a chance to step up.
First opportunity in a long time there for UWS comes courtesy of Reed. Manages to get a shot on goal, and now the Jackets are going on a much-needed power play.
Time of that penalty, 18:01. Hooking is the call. Evan Pejos is the guilty party. Jackets on the power play, coming in at 27.3%. And a reminder, this power play is sponsored by Superior Water, Light, and Power. Clean, reliable, Superior. That's SWLP. Riddle at the left point. Gives it down to the left corner. Yarmolnik behind the net for Dauphiné. Dauphiné now back to the left wing side. Yarmolnik up top at the line. Brennan. Left point Riddle. Right point Brennan. To Kagawa on the right half board. Dauphiné right wing corner. Kagawa right half board again. Up top, right point Brennan. Walks it back to Kagawa, right circle. Gives down low, right corner Dauphiné. He mishandles, then overskates. Kagawa picks up the puck, but he's tied up. In to help out Yarmolnik. Puck played back behind the St. Scholastica net. Wyatt Wurst wraps that around the left side, but Brennan holds at the right point. Brennan at the right point. Riddle on the left point. Walks it down. Yarmolnik wanted to center that one for Dauphiné in that bumper position, but he whiffs on the pass. At the left point, Brennan walks it to the middle. Gives it to Riddle. Left circle shot blocked by Wyatt Wurst. Clearing attempt held in beautifully by Brennan. Brennan at the right point. Walks it into the middle now. Takes the shot. Misses high. Comes off the end board. Yarmolnik got a skate on it, and it popped in on goal. Reasonen made the save. Under a minute to go here, second period. Behind the net for the Yellow Jackets. Ishmael sends that one up top. Brennan stick handles. Holds on to it. Feeds it over to the left circle. Back up top, Brennan, a shot that just whistles wide. Riddle's got it here now in the left circle. Carson Riddle gives it down low, left post. That was Ishmael. Riddle, sharp angle shot, Reasonen the save. Behind the net, Ishmael over to the right side for Reed. He mishandles and is able to get it back at the right point. Now gives to Brennan. Now down low. Ishmael up top. A.J. Reed walks over to Yarmolnik, a blast, and he hits a defender in front. Now Riddle left point. Over to the right circle, up top for Brennan. Back over for Carson Riddle. In the high slot, Brennan takes the shot. That one gets blocked. And the second period will come to a close. You got everything you wanted out of that power play. You had ozone time for the entire 2 minutes. You made a full line change there within that. Unfortunately, I think you only had 2 shots on net and probably 4 that got blocked.
That was remarkable. Not often do you maintain that much puck possession, complete a full line change, and not score on a power play.
That was, yeah. I mean, you had the same 4 killers out there the whole time, and they were just gassed. And here we are with 1 second left on the power play, so on all intents and purposes, the Jackets are 0 for 1 with the man advantage here. But all in all, good power play, something to build off of after what was a dud of a second period.
Yeah, definitely. They were able to have some possession, generate some shots. Hopefully they can build off that, because up to that point it was pretty bad, and it really got worse as the period went on.
On my ball, and Abby down there next to the bench, and it looks like she's been left all alone again.
Lonely Abby, just standing there, holding the mic. Nobody wants to talk to her.
I understand why Coach maybe doesn't want to have a conversation right now,
especially after that period. That was quite bad.
Yeah, that was a rough period for the Yellow Jackets. I feel awful for her, because we're paying her to talk to people down there, and she's kind of been left hanging here. She was nervous coming in, and all of a sudden, so yeah, they abandoned her completely here.
She's got the easiest job in the house. Nobody talks to her. She just stands there at the mic.
At any rate, Saints score twice here in this second period. Yellow Jackets kept off the board, and we go to the locker room down 3-1 after 40. We'll take a timeout and come back with our second intermission, sponsored by Hovland Incorporated, right after this. This is Yellow Jacket Hockey on 91.3 KUWS Superior and Yellow Jacket TV, an affiliate of the WIAC Sports Network. Westman Arena. It's our second intermission, sponsored by Hovland Incorporated, and we have the Yellow Jackets in their home opener here for 25-26, trailing St. Scholastica 3-1 after 40 minutes. I'm John Garver. He is Jason Roan, and we talked about during the first intermission how, as the first period was a perfect road period for St. Scholastica. Oh, they perfected the perfect road period, because they were even better in the second.
Yeah, they built on it, and UWS got worse in that second period, and that has you staring at a 3-1 deficit right now.
Yeah, the Jackets came out again. They had a little bit of momentum early in the period, but they couldn't sustain anything. And it took until a power play in the final 2 minutes for them to actually have a sustained offensive zone forecheck. I mean, they spent the entire period chasing the puck. And I mentioned during the broadcast, it was keep away.
Right, and that kills your forwards when they spend their entire shift defending, chasing pucks the whole time. By the time UWS does get a puck, they've got no gas in the tank to actually attack with it. It's just chip it out and change and get the next group out there to get them buzzed around the ice. So it was a whole period of puck chasing and defending for UWS.
You kind of hope that power play, which, again, there's 1 second left, but you're not going to score a goal in a second. But so you kind of hope that power play for the Jackets gives them that little bit of a boost they need to kind of try to make some things happen here, because that was a rough second period, but you got a lot of momentum now. You had the puck in the offensive zone for 2 full minutes. You had a lot of great movement. You had a lot of good stuff happening. I guess the flip side of that is St. Scholastica should have some momentum too, because of a good penalty kill for 4 guys who were stuck out there for 2 full minutes.
True, and with a 2-goal lead, they seem well suited to be able to protect that at this point right now. But all it takes is 1 for UWS, and I think it'll start creating that belief that, okay, we're home, we get 1 more, it's a 1-goal game, we're 1 shot away, and we can come back in this thing.
It was tied 1-1 after 1. Cade Schaefer, the Yellow Jackets, unassisted at 9:18 of the first. Andrew Cumming tied it at 11:31. So we talked about it at the time. Really good answer by St. Scholastica there. And then when they took the lead in the second period, we said, how are the Yellow Jackets going to answer? Well, they didn't. And the Saints took the lead at 8:53 of the second period. Riley Giroux scoring his first off of a face-off there. Like you said, false start, but he was able to get back into position, and they win the draw clean, and he rifled it past Jack Boschert.
Yeah, it was just perfect. Boschert had no chance. It was a great shot. Far side, almost off the post and in. Well-placed shot. Tough break for UWS. And what we talked about at the time was it was so hard to generate scoring chances. That would be one way to do it, is to be able to do it off an offensive zone face-off like that.
That was at 8:53 of the period. Emmett Wurst got the assist, and then at the 13-minute mark, it went to 2-0. Or excuse me, 3-1 rather. It was Giroux again. This time a little uncovered in front, as you talked about it, as the puck got on the back of the net, and Jack Boschert didn't know where the puck was, didn't know where guys were, and Emmett Wurst finds him out front. It's 3-1.
Yeah, hard to really fault Boschert on it. The puck got hung up on the back of the net, and he's sliding back and forth trying to figure out where it is. He's trying to track that, find the puck. Meanwhile, Giroux just comes right down the slot, and the puck ends up on his tape, and Boschert really had no chance on that one.
Kenan Riles also getting an assist on the play. So 2 assists for Wurst, 2 assists for Riles tonight, and then 2 goals for Riley Giroux. Shots on goal in the second period. St. Scholastica had 11 for a 2-period total of 17. The Yellow Jackets had 8 for a 2-period total of 16. And I mentioned it during the period, they have to get more pucks to the net. They have to get more bodies to the net too, because by and large, anything that's been coming through, Reason's been able to see. The Jackets haven't done a good job of generating traffic in front.
Right, not much traffic out front, and very few second chance opportunities for UWS on offense. It's been mostly one and done. What I'm interested to see in this third period is if UWS can make some sort of adjustment that helps them be able to create some offense. This isn't like football where you can all of a sudden flip the script and start calling different plays or coming out with different formations. It's a free-flowing game. I'm not sure if there's really an adjustment that can be made that can change things up that much, but that's definitely the kind of adjustment that UWS needs here in the third. It's got to be completely different than what it's been through the first 2 periods.
You know, I know it's a critical thing, but I think they've got to move their feet.
Yeah.
They've got to move their feet better, because for times they just weren't.
Yeah.
And some of that is a product of being stuck in your defensive zone as much as they were, and you stop moving your feet, or you're tired, you just want to get off. So I think they have to move their feet better, and they got to get better on the boards.
Yeah,
They're losing a lot of battles along the wall, and that contributes to the one and done, because what happens is the shot gets stopped, it goes into the corner, you're not winning that battle, the puck's coming right back out.
And moving your feet are tied to winning those board battles in some instances. Are you going to be there 1 step early, or you're going to be there 1 step late?
3-1, St. Scholastica has the lead after 2 periods of play, and I'm looking at what's going on. The nets have been taken off the ice. The Zamboni has not come back on. Now the Zamboni's coming out, and as I watch them work in the net, I wonder if one of the Marsh pegs
is stuck in the net.
Which does happen from time to time. So I'm wondering if one of the pegs is stuck, and they're over there working that net over pretty good, but both of the nets are off the ice now. So did it happen at each end?
I don't know, but I can tell you this. Coach McKenna has no issue with a long intermission right now. That's just fine with him. He's going to hit a hard reset on this game.
You can't pull the fire alarm, but you can get something like that to happen.
Yeah, he'll take as much as he can get right now.
So that means we've got a nice long intermission here as the clock has finally just started. 2 periods in the books here at Westman Arena. St. Scholastica with a 3-1 lead. We'll take a timeout and come back with more of our second intermission, sponsored by Hovland Incorporated, right after this. You're listening to Yellow Jacket Hockey on 91.3 KUWS Superior and Yellow Jacket TV, an affiliate of the WIAC Sports Network. We're back at Westman Arena, 2 periods in the books, and the Yellow Jackets find themselves in the unenviable position of trailing by a pair, 3-1 after 40 minutes of play. And I've been watching the crew feverishly working on the nets across the way from us here, as they are definitely trying to get the marsh pegs out. I am hazarding a guess that it did not work, because I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different nets over there, and they apparently have found 2 that can be acceptable for the remainder of the hockey game here. I would imagine there's also a backup set of marsh pegs in an event like this.
I hope so.
You don't only want to have one. So hopefully the nets are all figured out, and things that don't show up on your bingo card when you're the director of athletics. There's Nick Bursick out there working the nets over, trying to get the pegs out, and holy moly.
Yeah, that's an odd one. Reminds me of last year when we had to
the Northland game with the boards.
Saw a hole through the boards.
Yep. Yep. And that was one of the reasons that we have new boards.
Yes, I figured.
Which are not without their fun hops.
Yeah, we've seen that tonight.
There's been a couple tonight that have kicked off the wall and come right into the slot. So apparently you need to learn your boards a little bit here, because there are ways for you to generate offense when you can't generate offense if you can hit the right spot.
That might be the ticket tonight for the Yellow Jackets.
Scraping the bottom of the barrel for material here, it sounds like, is what we're doing. But if the Jackets do score again, that it's important, because you want to score those goals, because more goals means more wins. But also, Yellow Jacket Hockey and Bills Distributing are partnering to benefit Folds of Honor for the 10th year in a row. Every time the Yellow Jackets score a goal at home, Bills Distributing will donate $20 to Folds of Honor, helping provide scholarships and educational assistance for the families of fallen or severely wounded servicemen and women and first responders. So hopefully the Yellow Jackets can build on. They need to get at least $60 raised here tonight if we're going to tie the game and maybe venture into overtime. But at any rate, offense is of a premium for the Jackets here. So we've kind of beat the horse to death here about what they can do. Let's go to the other side. If you're St. Scholastica, what do you do?
Now it's just a simple game, right? You got a 2-goal lead, 20 minutes to kill. You got to skate hard. You got to get pucks in deep and just manage the puck. Don't do dumb things at either blue line.
Stay out of the penalty box.
Stay out of the penalty box. Easy game now. I mean, they just got to keep doing what they've been doing up to this point.
Elsewhere around the WIAC tonight, St. John's and River Falls are tied 2-2 after 2 periods of play. Concordia and UW Eau Claire are tied 1-1 after 2 periods of play. That's at the Hobbs Ice Arena in Eau Claire. UW Stout pounding Bethel 6-2 after 2.
Bethel doesn't like the cold.
Only anybody likes the cold in that place, man. Stout 44 attempted shots through 40 minutes of play. So that's not uncommon in that building. They play the style that they play suits that facility, and they come at you hard in that place. I don't know if anybody attacks the way Stout attacks when they're in that building.
And Bethel, the opponent for tomorrow night, they'll come up here really unhappy with their performance if this score holds.
Yeah, and so, I mean, if the way things are going, we're going to have 2 really unhappy teams here tomorrow. And then the other game going on in the WIAC, Beloit and Hiram. And apparently the live stats are, that's right, that's an 8:40 start.
They playing like Colorado time or what?
They're out in Ohio, I believe.
Even worse. That's East Coast time.
Yeah, it's 9:40 in the Eastern time zone, so that's an 8:40 start.
College kids won't mind.
That game should be starting any time here. And that'll be, Beloit, the newest member of the WIAC, which is essentially a resurrection of Northland College. The bulk of the Northland roster is playing at Beloit. The coaching staff is down there.
But not nearly as close by.
No, not nearly. You go from an hour to a 5.5-hour road trip there, and we get to go down to Janesville twice. So, yeah, it's going to be a haul, but, it keeps the even number in the conference, I guess. So that's the WIAC scoreboard that we have going on here this evening.
What else we got? We got women's hockey underway. They playing this weekend?
They're off this weekend.
They're off this weekend.
Yes,
okay.
Coach Bree Simon is here.
Okay.
They are off this weekend. They don't play till next weekend when they are down at Beloit. So they go to Beloit and Stevens Point next weekend as they enter conference play. Same with the guys. They'll after this weekend, they'll be on the road next Friday down at Eau Claire. And then next Saturday, the only visit of the season for UW Stevens Point to Westman Arena. So they'll be in conference play next week as well. But no other things going on around campus. The only other thing today was men's basketball. They're down in Platteville playing in the tournament down there. They played Carroll College, I believe. And I know they lost. I don't know what the score was because by the time I went back to the live stats to look at it, they already eliminated it for the second game of the tournament. So they're down there. They played Carroll earlier today. And then tomorrow is when everybody gets back into action. You've got... women's soccer is in the NCAA tournament. They're down at the University of Chicago playing the number 7 team in the country. And then men's soccer is back in the NCAA tournament. They take on the number 4 team in the country, St. Olaf. They're down in the St. Olaf Regional. And St. Olaf only lost 2 games all year. Fortunately, one was to us. So no secrets at all between the Yellow Jackets and the Oles. This will be the 3rd straight year they met in the tournament. So we will see. Oh, thank you very much. 96-69, the final for the Yellow Jacket basketball team today. I think it was a 6-point. Yeah, it was a 6-point game at halftime, and so they got outscored handily in the second half, but their shooting percentage went up. Unfortunately, Carroll's went way up
through the roof.
Carroll's went way up there in the second half. So, but those teams are going at it tomorrow, and then men's and women's cross country are at the NCAA Regional tomorrow down in Colfax.
Hopefully this great weather holds for all these outdoor games, the soccer, the cross country. I mean, unless the team is like built to be mutters or something. I mean, this has got to be ideal to not be freezing, not be raining.
In one of the conversations I had with Glenn Drexler, the men's and women's cross country coach, just one of the casual, say how's the season going kind of thing, and he goes, every place we've gone, it's been like 80 degrees on race day. And we're not built for that. So every time we go and play, it's 80 degrees on race day. And I'm just hoping where we can get something seasonable at some point. Maybe it'll be seasonal for them tomorrow. I don't know.
Maybe.
So that'll be, if they don't have anybody qualify for nationals, that'll be the end of the season for them tomorrow. So yeah, it's a busy, really busy stretch tomorrow. Today, pretty quiet, but tomorrow, busy stretch. And of course, it's capped off with hockey back here against Bethel. So hopefully the Jackets have some third period magic in them. This is the first time all year they have trailed after 2. They've been tied after 2 periods once, and they've led after 2 periods twice. So let's see if the Yellow Jackets can figure it out here in period number 3.
We have 2 nets?
We've got 2 nets. It looks like we have marsh pegs. So whatever, Nick Bursick, whatever you did, take 100 out of petty cash because you did a heck of a job getting these nets ready for the third period. 4.5 minutes away from the start of the third. Yellow Jackets trailing St. Scholastica 3-1. We'll take a break and come back with a drop of the puck right after this. This is Yellow Jacket Hockey on 91.3 KUWS Superior and Yellow Jacket TV, an affiliate of the WIAC Sports Network. We're back here at Westman Arena, about 2.5 minutes away from the start of the third period. Yellow Jackets trailing St. Scholastica 3-1. We were looking at the Division I scoreboard here during the break around the NCHC Big Ten. And North Dakota, Arizona State tied 2-2 after 2 out at the Ralph. Your alma mater, UMD, leading Omaha 3-2.
Go Dogs.
Ohio State leading Wisconsin 2-0. And then it's got to be like the shocker of college hockey. Long Island University leading the Gophers 3-1.
Go Sharks, or whatever they're called.
Are they the Sharks?
I don't know.
I don't know for certain what they are, but yeah, that's if that's actually wow. Okay.
Wow.
Didn't have that on my picks for the night at all.
No.
But at any rate, here we're about a minute and a half away.
Interesting that they didn't just zero out the clock in the intermission. But they still let it go.
Maybe they're just that concerned about that NCAA protocol, man. We got to follow that thing to the letter. The WIAC will be calling, go, hey, what's up that 22-minute intermission you guys had?
Well, Rich needed to install an entirely new forecheck.
As I look over to the bench, it looks like we will be installing a new goaltender as Jan Skorpik is at the front of the line. And he is the one leading the Yellow Jackets onto the ice. So I believe it is going to be a new goaltender for the Yellow Jackets as Jan Skorpik is going to come in for the third period.
Not for me to say, but in my personal opinion, Boschert wasn't terrible in this one. I think this is probably more trying to spark some sort of comeback, some sort of change. But nonetheless, a new goalie for the third period here for UWS.
Jan Skorpik making his third appearance on the season. Coming into the game with a 2-0 record, a 1.50 goals against average, and a .939 save percentage. So he now has made an appearance in 3 of the 4 Yellow Jacket games so far this campaign. He takes over for Jack Boschert. Skorpik will defend the goal. 2 hour left, and the Yellow Jackets will go left to right here in the third. Bossert finishing the night with 14 saves on those 17 shots he faced. At the other end, Eino Riisanen has made 15 stops, but again, not too many of the with a high degree of difficulty. Saints dump it into the Yellow Jackets zone. Penalized player is back on, so each team 0 for 1 on the power play now. Moving ahead on the left side, Tyler Ryder crosses the St. Scholastica line. Ryder has it in the left corner, plays that one up top. So moved over to the right point for Whitehouse. He overskates. Now the Jackets pick it back up with Ishmael behind the net for Setter. Loose puck. Pops over into the left wing corner. Panzer to cleared. A.J. Reed gets a stick on it. Jackets able to hold the zone. Now Ishmael, high slot, feeds it over. Quick shot by Setter from the left circle. And Wyatt Worst reaches in there and deflects that one over the glass and out of play.
That was a situation where a player actually opted for a worse scoring chance than the one he himself had.
I mean, he's right down the middle.
Right.
You're between the wheels. You got to let that thing go. Jackets controlling the faceoff. Bergstrom gets run over but manages to maintain control of the puck for the Jackets. Roosevelt plays it in on the right wing. Pejos for St. Scholastica gets it back and sends it ahead for Scott. He tips it into Yellow Jacket territory. Behind the net now. Gibbs sidesteps the check of Cumming. Passes it up on the right wing. Roosevelt sends it rink wide on the left for Dauphiné, and he'll play it in. Loose puck behind the St. Scholastica net. Saints come out with it here. It comes over to McCarthy on the left wing. He goes ahead for Pejos. Jackets get it back. Dusty Bergstrom sends that one over for Gibbs. Gibbs across the line takes the shot, and the Saints will get a stick on that and deflect it over the glass and out of play. Stop me if you heard that before.
That's a part of the problem right there, though. Continuing to go D to D while the wingers are flying through the neutral zone looking for a pass, and then they just get to the far blue line and have to stop because they're still going D to D with the puck. We've either got to make that pass and get the puck moving north, or they've just got to skate it up. They can't just keep going back and forth.
Frankly, that's something that we saw in week 1 against Marion. The Jackets would get it and shove it right back into the Marion zone and get right back on the forecheck, and they haven't done that really since then. Yarmalnik sends it out to the neutral zone, just out of the reach of Cade Shea. Riddle gets it back in the neutral, and he'll dump it in. Puck comes behind the goal now. Looks like Coach activated the blender during the intermission as the defense pairs have been all mixed up. Now back across the line. Giroux from the right circle, a shot. Stick save Skorpic, and he deflects that over the glass and out of play.
You can see more quickness out of UWS, like more assertive skating, but right now they're not hitting the passes that allow them to take advantage of it, but you can at least see that they're trying to increase the speed.
Face-off is going to be the left of goaltender Jan Skorpic, who came on in relief of Jack Bossert to start the third period. Ishmael's got it for the Jackets here now, and he'll carry it up the left wing boards. Ishmael across the St. Scholastica line. Loses the puck, and the Saints will clear it back out to center. Brennan for Danziger. Up the middle, it's tipped in by Reed. Behind the St. Scholastica net, Wyatt Worst chips it past the forecheck of Blake Setter. Saints clear. Glove down in the neutral zone by Whitehouse. Whitehouse taken to the ice, but he got the puck deep. It's in the right wing corner. Worst there. Jackets with the steal. Reed tried to feed it ahead. It was going to be broken up there and cleared back out into the neutral zone now. Tyler Ryder picks up speed. Ryder now up the right wing. Stripped to the puck at neutral ice. Back the other way. Hunter Hansen for St. Scholastica. Now he's relieved of the puck by Andrew Larson. And Larson for the Jackets comes back the other way with speed. Larson across the St. Scholastica line. Tried to stick handle around a defender. Penalty coming. It's going to be on the Saints. Somebody got the stick on the arm of Larson. And the Jackets are headed to the power play.
And again, UWS is playing with a bit more speed now, just in a slightly higher gear. And that's what helped create this power play opportunity.
Time of the penalty, 3:01 of the third period. Hunter Hansen for high sticking. Gives the Yellow Jackets their second power play. Power play sponsored by Superior Water, Light, and Power. Clean, reliable, Superior. That's SWLP. Brennan at the right point. Gives it to the right circle to Omioksa. Saucers it down low, Dauphin. Now back to Tuomioksa up top. Brennan, left point, Riddle. Gives it to Yarmolnik on the left wing. His pass is broken up. Saints come back the other way. Scott up the right wing, takes a long shot. The save is made by Skorpic. Now back the other way, Justin Dauphin to center. Feeds it now for Tuomioksa across the line. Rupe Tuomioksa, his pass. Goes rink wide. Brennan's got it now, left circle. Brennan for the Jackets. Trades places with Carson Riddle, who has the puck. Riddle, left circle. Gives down low, Yarmolnik left of the net. Back to Riddle. Up top, Brennan. Walks it, loses the puck, and the Saints are going to clear that all the way down the ice.
I'm not really sure what they're trying to set up right now.
This is Jordan Gibbs here for the Jackets with under a minute to go in the power play. Gives to Roosevelt left wing. He'll go up top, left point Ryder, right point Gibbs. Back up top Ryder. Reed, top of the right circle. Down to the right corner, Ishmael up top. Ryder over to the left circle. Gibbs, a one-timer save is made. Rebound is there, but the Jackets can't get there in time. Now in the right wing corner. It's played up. Ryder at the right point. Dishes that one off the skate of Reed, but Ishmael's got it. 25 to go in the power play. Ryder at the right point. Gives it over to the left side now. Jordan Gibbs, left circle. Circles back, sends it up top for Ryder. Back to Gibbs, left circle. Takes the shot, it's blocked. Now Roosevelt, left wing corner, up top. Gibbs takes the shot, saved by Reason, and he'll hold on. With 4 seconds left in the power play.
And one thing we saw there in that last sequence was 4 consecutive passes in the skates. And that is a good way to short circuit your own power play.
Four seconds left in the power play here. 15:02 to go in the third. Saints up 3-1. Jackets win the faceoff. Quick shot attempt there is blocked. Ends up behind the goal now. Riddle puts it to the left corner. Nobody in a gray sweater is there, and the Saints will go to clear but not out. Second attempt does come to neutral ice, but Shea will dump it back in. And we're going to get a whistle and a penalty on the Saints. So the Jackets are about to go back to the power play. .5:13 the time.
Maybe holding the stick?
Yeah, it was the indication was a hold. And that'll be Daniel Kroon going to the sin bin. Power play number 3 for the Yellow Jackets here. So basically they've been on the power play for the last 6 minutes. Going back to the second period. Power play is sponsored by Superior Water, Light, and Power. Clean, reliable, Superior. That's SWLP. Behind the Yellow Jacket net now, Carson Riddle. Riddle up the left wing. Throws that rink wide. Yarmolnik's got it now. Tuomioksa on the right wing. Back down to the corner. Behind that looking for Dauphin. Dauphin gives to Yarmolnik. Now back for Dauphin. Riddle on the left wing half board. Wanted to go off the boards, trying to go for Brennan. Puck got tipped. Brennan decided to bail out. And Emmett Worth will send that all the way down. Tuomioksa over for Roosevelt. Across the line, left wing, gets crunched but gets it deep. Palfy gets there. He gets it to the line. Gibbs holds. Feeds now for Ishmael. Throws it across for Tuomioksa, but he couldn't get the shot away. And we're going to get a penalty on the Yellow Jackets, so that'll do it for the power play.
Kind of felt like that was coming.
Interference will be the penalty call. And Daniel Roosevelt goes to the box. Time of that one, 6:10. So it'll be 4-on-4 for a little more than a minute, and the Saints will get their second power play of the evening. Jackets win the faceoff. Tyler Ryder has it here. Ryder inside his own zone. Backs it up just a hair, now dishes it ahead. Ishmael across the line on the left wing, hits the brakes at the hash marks. Gives to Ryder, left point. Tyler Ryder is going to escape the offensive zone and carry it back to neutral ice. Gives it over to Jordan Gibbs on the right wing. Rink wide feed on the left now. This is Ishmael. Ishmael over to the right wing side. Ishmael now throws that one right through the goal mouth. Danziger's got it. Danziger left point gives it to Ishmael. 20 left in the 4-on-4. Puck comes all the way over to the right wing side out to neutral ice where Larson's got it. Larson now curls it back inside his own line. Larson up the middle with it here. Loses it as he crosses the St. Scholastica line, and the Saints are going to come back the other way with speed. Across the Yellow Jacket line, it's Cumming. Andrew Cumming takes a sharp angle backhand that hits the side of the goal. Penalized player back on, so the Saints are on the power play, and the Yellow Jackets will send that all the way down the ice.
45 seconds left on this power play.
Hunter Hansen sends it ahead for Gunderson on the right wing. He floats it to the middle. That's going to be broken up. Puck is along the end board behind the Yellow Jacket net. 30 seconds left in the penalty to Roosevelt. Gunderson right wing corner. Gets it to Panzer right point, who drives it back down low. Clearing attempt is going to get past Hansen and come all the way down, so the Yellow Jackets will change killers here. Back to center now they come. Gunderson on the right wing, poke check by Brennan. Centering pass intercepted in front by Danziger, who tried to spring Tuomioksa. Finally able to settle the bouncing puck down, and he dumps it in. Dauphiné picking it up. Penalized player back on, so we're back to 5-on-5. With 11:40 to play in the third. Roosevelt on the right side gets clipped as he pokes it into the offensive zone. Pejo's stepping into him. Puck comes back around. On the left wing boards, Brennan. Up to the left point, Dauphiné has his shot blocked, and then that's going to carry him out to neutral ice. Tuomioksa's got it there. Saints regaining control, and Kroon's going to flip it in. Puck bounces right wing corner, Yellow Jacket zone. Gibbs up the boards, Tuomioksa, that's not going to go. Puck comes into the slot now, and Roosevelt back the other way. Roosevelt and Gibbs 2-on-3. Coming off the bench now, reinforcements in the form of Cade Shea. Sharp angle shot goes through the goal mouth. Roosevelt holds it in on the right side. Shea right corner out front, redirected by Riddle and misses wide. Riddle now on the left wing corner. Carries it all the way into the high slot. Completes a lap of the offensive zone. Riddle now tried to put it into the goal crease, and that one's blocked by the defense. It comes to the right point. Gibbs holds. Yarmolnik on the right wing side. Has it poked off his stick. Jackets hold the zone with Riddle. Now to Bergstrom. Into the slot. Shea had the puck bounce on him. Comes to the line but not out. Held in by Gibbs. Now Riddle on the right half board. Feeds it over for Bergstrom. Left circle. Fires. It's blocked. Yarmolnik's got it again now. Left wing corner. Up to the left point for Gibbs. He kicks it back down to the left corner. Junker's got it there. Yarmolnik pressures him. Strips the puck away. Yellow Jackets in the midst of a change. Ishmael in to help out. Puck's going to be wrapped back around to the right wing side. Whitehouse gets there. He goes down low. It's going to be played back up top. Reed's got it right point. Gives it now for Whitehouse. He flips it to the right wing corner. It's going to come back around to the left wing side here. Clearing attempt is going to go up into the St. Scholastica bench, and we're going to get a face-off here in the Saints zone. Bad time for immediate timeout because for the first time all night, the Jackets have had some sustained offensive zone time.
Yeah, Jackets playing with much more urgency now. They're winning those races to the pucks that you were talking about during the intermission. They're creating some opportunities now to possess, to create more than one chance, forcing St. Scholastica to have to defend for long stretches of time. Things are going the right direction here for UWS. Like you said, unfortunate to have it interrupted by immediate timeout right now.
And a reminder, have you downloaded Swarm Central, the official rewards and loyalty app of the Yellow Jackets? Get started and receive 200 points just for registering, 200 more for downloading the app. Redeem your points for cool prizes in the Swarm Central store. Find Swarm Central in the Apple and Google stores today.
Big offensive zone face-off coming here. Let's see if UWS can give the Saints a bit of their own medicine and come up with something off this face-off win.
Yellow Jackets appear to have shortened the bench. I have not seen Zach Lucier this period. I haven't seen Nikki Kagawa this period.
Which is surprising, obviously, given the fact that you need some scoring.
And they are on the bench. I mean, I do see them. I haven't seen Brady Clemens in this period. Face-off is going to be in the Saints zone. To the right of Riisanen. Jackets win the draw. Left point Ryder, stick handles, walks it, takes the shot. That one's going to catch traffic in front. Hunter Hansen now. Saints up to 15 or 16 blocks, here in the hockey game, compared to just 5 for the Yellow Jackets. Long shot from the right wing by Panzer, steered away by Skorpic. Puck bounces to the front of the Yellow Jacket goal. Whitehouse swats that away. It's played around to the right wing. Blake Setter's got it now. Setter up the wing into the St. Scholastica zone. Gets around one man. Left circle now Setter. Chips that one down low. It lands behind the Saints net. Justin Dauphiné didn't know where it was. And the Saints are going to clear that back into the neutral zone. Palfy dumps it into Yellow Jacket territory. Left wing corner. Whitehouse gets there. Check that, it's Danziger, Saints regain control. Dauphiné gets it back for the Yellow Jackets and circles from behind his net now. Dauphiné with speed to center. Over to the right wing, and the Yellow Jackets are going to be called for an offside.
Dauphiné having to carry that one so far himself. Really slowed down that breakout.
8:45 to play. Third period. 3-1. St. Scholastica with the lead here on the home opener at Westman Arena. Puck flipped into Yellow Jacket territory from the St. Scholastica side of center. Steered away by Skorpic, and now the Yellow Jackets back on the attack. Up the right wing, it's Dauphiné. Tried to throw that one across, and it's broken up, and now the Saints are going to have Wyatt Wurst with a breakaway. Wurst behind the Diaz shot, and he misses that over the top of the net. Skorpic may have gotten a piece. And Dauphiné picks it up here for the Jackets and flips it to center. Roosevelt on the right wing. Now for Larson. Larson crosses the line and dishes it off to the right wing. Roosevelt plays it deep. Puck into the left wing corner. Riddle gets it up to the line, but Bergstrom couldn't handle the pass, and it comes back to center ice. The Yellow Jackets will quickly come back again with Larson to Yarmalnik. Now for Gibbs. Back to Larson, right corner. Out front, that's going to come up the slot. Clearing attempt held in momentarily by Gibbs, but now it does kick all the way back down into the Yellow Jacket zone. Alexei Yarmalnik channeling his inner bowling ball and runs over a Saints player. Saints, however, have the puck. This is Pejos coming across the Yellow Jacket line right wing. Pejos behind the net. Left wing corner. Throws that one up to the line. Panzer mishandled for a moment. Jackets got it back. I thought that left the zone, but the linesman Jace Friedlieb says no. It eventually does come out, so let's not boo the linesman. Jordan Gibbs from behind his net for the Jackets to center. Throws it ahead on the left wing. Cade Shea tips it down into Saints territory. As we pass the 13-minute mark of this third period, 3-1 Saints. Time becoming an issue for the Yellow Jackets here now. Ryder from behind his net. Steps out with it and feeds Whitehouse on the right wing. Whitehouse runs his way through a defender as he chases after the puck to the right corner. Now there's a turnover, bouncing puck left circle. Setter puts it through the goal crease. It comes to the right wing boards, gets past Whitehouse, and the Saints will clear. And we're going to get a whistle. And a face-off in the St. Scholastica zone with 6:26 to go here in the third. 3-1 Saints.
Did that puck hit the I-beams, hit the roof?
I don't know. I didn't think it did.
I didn't either. I'm wondering why there was a whistle there. At any rate.
Unless they saw something we didn't, which is absolutely possible. Face-off controlled by the Jackets momentarily. Cleared out into the neutral zone by Jared Scott for St. Scholastica. Jackets will regain control and then turn it over. 2-on-1 for the Saints. Coming left circle, takes the shot. That one may have caught the crossbar and go up over the glass and out of play. He changed that stick angle just a bit. Was going high glove and rings the iron.
Skorpic tapping the spot on the post where that puck hit. So definitely caught iron on that one.
Face-off will be to Skorpic's right. Saints win the face-off. Scott's shot is going to be blocked. Dauphiné has it here. Tuo Mioksa on the left wing. Tried to move that one ahead for Roosevelt, but it wasn't going to go. Now Tuo Mioksa's got it again. Rupe, Tuo Mioksa mishandles inside his own line. McCarthy right circle his shot. Save made by Skorpic. Jackets have really fought the puck tonight.
They sure have.
Boy. Tuo Mioksa on the left wing. Carries it ahead to center now, and he'll flip that down into the St. Scholastica zone. Wyatt Wurst giving chase. It comes around now to the left wing boards. Tuo Mioksa wanted to push it to the corner. It didn't go. Now behind the net. Dauphiné giving chase. He's got it right corner. Brennan had come way down from the right point. It goes off of him. Now he's got it on the half board. His shot's blocked. Dauphiné right wing corner. Moved it behind the net. It hopped over the stick of Tuo Mioksa, and the Saints are going to clear all the way down the ice. And that'll be icing with 5:07 remaining in this third period. No life in the building at all.
No. The Jackets need a push, and they're starting to look a little tired with this shortened bench.
And it's going to be a timeout here by the Yellow Jackets.
Sensing the same thing there, I think.
Well, you know, and honestly, I mean, this is Western hockey. You know, yeah, the Yellow Jackets are a ranked team in the top 10 in one of the national polls. They're 12 in the other one. St. Scholastica is a bit of a slow start. That's, I mean, there's no cupcakes in the West.
Right.
There's no easy games in the West. If there's anybody out in the East listening,
no offense,
but there are some games on most schedules out there where you go, okay, we can get some guys in the lineup here.
Yeah.
And in the West, it just doesn't work that way.
Yeah, and Scholastica has just played.
They played a great game tonight. They played an absolutely fantastic hockey game tonight.
Aside from that stretch where they took 3 penalties in a row, it's hard to really find any flaws at all in what St. Scholastica has done out here. They've put pressure on the puck. They've skated well. They've won 50-50 pucks. Killed penalties. They've really good, solid game.
Yeah, they've been very, very good here tonight. Very, very good.
Blocked a ton of shots. What are we up to now?
They got 16 blocks.
Wow.
The Yellow Jackets have attempted 13 more shots than the Saints. 46 for the game. 20 of them are on goal and 16 have been blocked.
Wow.
Jan Skorpic is at the hash marks. So Coach McKenna appears to is going to be gutsy here.
5:07 remaining.
He's going to go the way that Patrick Waugh would go and get him out with 5 minutes to go. Face off in the Saint zone to Riesenen's right. Controlled by St. Scholastica. McCarthy starts it up the left wing, gets the red and fires it in. And Skorpic will glove it and hold.
That is the trend these days. The analytics tell you to
get your goalie out sooner.
Get him out sooner. 5 minutes is really, really, really early, but given the way this game has been and how hard it's been to generate any quality scoring chances, you can certainly understand the rationale.
Dean Blaze at the University of North Dakota yanked his goalie at one time with like 14 minutes left. That was really something. Jackets win the face-off. Yarmolnik carries it up the right wing across the red. Tried to dump it in. It was blocked. He stays with it, then loses the handle on that, and the Saints are going to clear to the line, but Gibbs able to hold at the right point. Now in the high slot, Bergstrom at the left point. Over to Gibbs' right point. Skorpic out. Extra attacker on. Shot by Bergstrom's going to go wide. Empty net for the Yellow Jackets here. Rielt's on the left wing to clear. Gibbs holds the zone. He'll leave it here for Bergstrom at the right point, who sends it deep for Dauphiné. Now a steal, but the clearing attempt held in at the right point by Bergstrom. Over to the left point for Gibbs. He takes the shot. Saints block it. And that'll go up over the glass into the netting.
The defenders have really had no answer for the puck pressure that they've been the recipient of in this game.
Yeah.
They've had very, very little time and space. They have not been able to find a way to get pucks through.
Saints win the face-off. They decide to go for the open net when you're up 2. Why not? And that'll be an icing call. I mean, if you're winning draws, which they're not. I mean, the Jackets have won 33 to 21 for the Saints. Actually, 34 now.
But like you said,
but if you're up 2, why not?
Yeah, if you've got a decent look, it's all right.
Heck, let your goalie take a crack at it. Saints win the face-off. Pejos is going to clear that up the left wing boards. Jackets will recover. Danziger for Ishmael left wing, and he dumps it back into Saints territory. Pejos giving chase. He rips it hard around the boards. Jackets hold it in for a moment here. Now on the left wing boards, Larson sends it around behind the net to the right wing side. Reed gets it there. Feeds it down low, Roosevelt. Now back to Reed on the right wing board. 3.5 to go here in the third. Jackets trailing 3-1. Larson right side of the net. Feeds it out front for Roosevelt, but he couldn't handle it. Good look there, but he couldn't handle the pass. Reed on the right wing side. Gives it to the right of the net. Roosevelt couldn't handle the pass. Comes back up top. Ryder at the right point. Now for Reed on the right half board. Sends it across. Danziger. Left point. Gets away from trouble. Has it in the slot. Danziger again. Feeds that one back across the grain. Ishmael takes the shot. Save made by Reason, who was sprawled out. Ryder holds left point. High slot. Danziger a shot. That's deflected wide. Sharp angle shot on the rebound by Ishmael. Goes off the outside of the goal. Danziger now at the top of the right circle. Under 3 to go here in the third. Jackets trailing by a pair. Then they turn it over. And the Saints are going to send that one all the way down the ice. Icing's going to be the call, and I had hazard to guess St. Scholastica is going to call a timeout.
Yeah, their whole group is hunched over on its sticks on its knees right now.
I mean, that was a 2.5 minute stretch there where everything was in their zone.
Yep.
And they're sucking wind pretty good right now.
The timeout has been indicated. Good job by the Yellow Jackets. Maintained a lot of puck possession.
Had a couple good looks in there, too.
Yep. Like you said, just fighting it right now. I mean, the passes are not necessarily on the tape, and when they are, the puck's exploding on the blade. Nobody's able to get a clean one-timer right now. Everything's hitting and exploding.
It's a good way to put it.
And the puck pressure from St. Scholastica has been really troublesome for UWS tonight.
Yeah, the entire night. And, you know, is that going to become the book on this team? That if you pressure them hard.
Yeah, I mean, I think it starts there. A willingness to block shots and apply hard pressure on the puck and force them to make plays. And I'm confident that UWS will adapt to that.
Correct.
No doubt in my mind. I mean, they have plenty of talent.
No, I'm with you 100% there.
But they might not be able to adapt to it in the next 2 minutes and 45 seconds.
We'll find out. Face off in the Saints zone to Riesenen's right. Jackets control it. Yarmolnik had it, then lost it. It gets to the line, but Gibbs holds. Now Riddle on the left side. Gives it to Dauphin, who carries behind the net. Gives it to Gibbs, right circle. His one-timer misses wide. Riddle at the left point holds. Feeds it up top. Bergstrom now over for Gibbs. Down to Dauphin in the right wing corner. Bergstrom right point. Walks it to his left. Dauphin, shot from the right circle, goes off the outside of the goal. Cade Shea along the end board now. Gives it for Dauphin. Up top, Bergstrom at the right point. Back for Dauphin again. He rifles it deep. It comes behind the net for Riddle. Carson Riddle for the Jackets up top at the left point. Bergstrom, right circle. Dauphin wanted the one-timer, then had to settle that puck down. Comes back over to the left side. Riddle up top. Bergstrom. Right circle, Dauphin under 2 to play here in the third. Jackets down 2. It kicks up the slot now. Bergstrom over now, one-timer taken by Gibbs, and that's going to get blocked. Penalty coming. It's going to be on the Yellow Jackets here. They're going to get Justin Dauphin, I believe, for getting a stick in the skates, and that is...
I don't love this call. This is a tired player who basically just kind of fell when somebody tapped the outside of his skate.
Yep.
It was more the player's exhaustion than it was an egregious trip. But again, the situation being what it is, not surprising to see a penalty called.
Time of the penalty, 18-14. And that's pretty much going to do it here as the Saints and the Jackets have to put Skorpic back in the net. And the Saints are on the power play here. And the bulk of the arena feels the same as they head for the door. Saints controlling the faceoff. Hunter Hansen left side, sends it over to the right. Panzer right wing corner, tied up by Ryder. Puck comes back behind the Yellow Jacket net. Hansen on the left side, up top for Wurst at the left point. Right point Chung, back in the middle for Wurst. That thing rode the blue line the whole way across. Stayed in the zone, but now the Jackets able to clear. Roosevelt on the right wing gets hooked up. And Wyatt Wurst picks it up here for the Yellow Jackets. At center, Chung comes into the Yellow Jacket zone, right circle. They break that one up. The Jackets do, then they turn it back over. Gunderson couldn't handle that one. Roosevelt has it here, and we have under a minute to go here now in this third period. Brennan carries up the right wing, comes into the St. Scholastica zone, takes the shot, Reason in the stick save. Puck behind the Saints goal, Kimball. Over to McCarthy on the left, and he'll flip that into Yellow Jacket territory. Dusty Bergstrom sends that one around to the left wing boards for Cade Shea. Now for Riddle, rink wide for Brennan. Brennan takes a long shot, gloved by Reasonen. He'll drop it behind the net. McCarthy for St. Scholastica will circle back behind his net. Passes it ahead for Kroon on the left wing, and the Saints are going to be content here maybe to ride this one out. Shot from the slot by McCarthy. Skorpic with the save. 6.2 seconds remaining.
That is a happy bunch of Saints over there on that bench right now.
As well they should be, because they came out and played a heck of a game here tonight. Jackets didn't answer the bell when they needed to.
And they are letting the Jackets hear it right now.
Saints win the face-off, and that's going to do it here from Westman Arena as the puck comes all the way back down in the Saints zone. And the horn sounds, bringing this one to a close. Final score here tonight. St. Scholastica defeating the Yellow Jackets 3-1. We'll take a break and come back with the post-game show, sponsored by Synovus Energy and the Superior Refinery right after this. You're listening to Yellow Jacket Hockey on 91.3 KUWS Superior and Yellow Jacket TV, an affiliate of the WIAC Sports Network. Back here at Westman Arena as the post-game show sponsored by Synovus Energy and the Superior Refinery, and it comes on the heels of the first defeat of the season for the Yellow Jackets as they fall on home ice. Final score here 3-1. St. Scholastica getting the victory, and we said it multiple times over the course of the broadcast here this evening, Jason, but St. Scholastica played a great hockey game.
Yeah, full credit to St. Scholastica. They came out and executed their game plan, played absolutely terrific. I'm sure they just they did everything that the coaches asked them to do, and they played with great intensity, put a lot of pressure on the puck, were solid defensively. They just did the job tonight.
Yeah, they were the better team. I'm not afraid to say that, and people get mad at me sometimes when the Jackets don't play well. I say that, and they didn't play well tonight. And there were stretches where they got outworked, they got outskated, and that second period, that was a rough one.
Yeah,
that was a rough second period. Jackets didn't look good at all. They were much better in the third, but they ran into that whole just fighting the puck thing.
Right.
Because they fought it the entire night. They just, no matter what they did, they could not complete passes. And you pointed it out on that last power play, 4 consecutive passes that were on the backhand or in the skates.
Yeah, and it just short circuits everything you're trying to do. It's hard enough to create offense when you do everything right, but when you're throwing passes behind guys, throwing passes in their feet, can't cleanly handle it, you've got to dust it off. It just makes it really, really hard to generate offense, and that's what UWS ran into tonight. The most positive thing we saw in that third period was a much more assertive Yellow Jacket team, so that was good. And the coaches rolling the dice, pulling the goalie, that ended up working, not in the sense that it got a goal, but they were able to really control the puck for that last that 3-minute stretch for sure anyway, and really give themselves a chance anyhow, so that was good.
That stretch was good. The power play looked good. They had 3 power plays, and one of them was cut short, but the entire 4+ minutes that they were on the power play, they were in the offensive zone.
Plenty of zone time.
They were getting looks. I tend to agree with you. There's a part of me that wondered, what are you trying to set up? Because there was a lot of passing for the sake of passing. I don't know who their trigger man was. What were they trying to do? Were they trying to overload one side? Where were they trying to create the 2-on-1? Because that's the whole point of the power play,
right,
is to find the 2-on-1. What were they trying to do? And yeah, there was a lot of movement, a lot of good things, but then just what were we doing?
Right.
So
ultimately it was a lot of just passing the puck around the perimeter quickly, which it's great for puck possession, but you're not really generating scoring chances that way either.
And by and large too, we saw it during the 6-on-5 when they pulled the goaltender. They were in the offensive zone the bulk of that last 5 minutes, aside from when they went on the penalty kill. And it was a lot of passing around the perimeter. And they were winning races to pucks along the boards, and they were getting control of it again, and they were able to get it up top, but they weren't getting anything to the net. And that's kind of been my bugaboo with this crew so far this year. They're not generating shots. They're not getting bodies to the net. They are outshot tonight again by a margin of 25-23. So that is 3 out of 4 games now that this team has been outshot.
And if you could see a heat map of where the shots are coming from, it wouldn't be pretty in a game like tonight.
Yeah, and I wonder if we can print that out, because they do. The one I got last weekend at St. Olaf had that, where you could see where all the shots were attempted from. And that would be it'd be an interesting look, I think, because I'd like to see where they're coming from, because they weren't getting a lot in tight. They weren't getting a lot of traffic to the net, and it's one of those things I want to ask Mouse about when he comes up here, because I see him walking up. So good on him being willing to jump on this one here and have a chat with us a little bit about it. But I feel like it's just something they're really fighting right now. They're not doing a good job getting pucks to the net. They're not doing a good job getting bodies to the net, and that's something that in this conference they're going to have to figure out.
And the shot blocking, some of that's just Scholastica's commitment to blocking shots, but some of it is also the inability to put passes on the tape or handle the puck cleanly, because it's that extra minute when you're trying to settle the puck down that lets the player get in the lane.
Yep.
So that was also troublesome tonight too, is that they weren't able to handle it cleanly, so it gave Scholastica more time to get in those lanes and block shots from the point that otherwise might have gotten through, maybe could have generated some rebounds in the slot.
19 blocks for the Saints tonight.
Wow.
19 blocks. That's basically 1 every 3 minutes. That's a very high number in the college hockey games. So
that's a lot of shots that aren't getting to the net.
Well, exactly. When Jackets attempted 55 shots today, and a third of them got blocked.
Wow.
So
yeah,
another one of those things that we're probably going to have to work on in practice at some point here is why in the world we were struggling so much with that. And with that, we'll step aside and we will allow assistant coach Brian Meisner to join us. And go ahead and
is it working? Yep. Just got to turn it up a little bit here.
1, 2, 3. This is going to bring you up.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
Now we got you. Now we got you. So
but I don't want to hear my voice.
Oh, we got questions, Mouse.
I don't have any answers. That's the problem.
We've got questions, man. So tough one here tonight. Second period was a rough one.
Oh, yeah. I concur.
Okay, good. I'm glad we're not completely off base.
Okay, I want to ask a question off that, though. Okay, so one thing we were talking about after that second period was this isn't football. You can't come out and start calling like really different plays or really different formations to try to change what was happening there. What did you guys talk about between the second and the third? Like, what kind of adjustment can you make as a coaching staff going into that third period?
Well, we changed all of our lines and all of our deep pairings, trying to get some life. Changed our goalie, trying to get him. It wasn't Jack's fault at all, but maybe give a little life to the group. And yeah, I mean, you said it. We're playing on our heels a lot of the night, the first period, second period, especially, and. It was strange to see because we haven't done that this year, at least for not that long of a period. And it was almost like, to me anyway, especially watching the defensemen, our gaps were horrible in the second period. We were sagging in the zone. Cost us that third goal, or second goal. I can't remember. Second goal was out the faceoff?
Yep.
Third goal then. I mean, we had a guy in the neutral zone. We had three guys back. He had the puck, and we just sagged right back to the top of the circles, let him gain the zone, get a shot, and then they got the rebound. So we did a lot of that. And for what?
And conversely, they did not.
They did not. But they weren't. See, there's that fine line, right? We want to be aggressive, but we want to be smart. And if you're over-aggressive, you can lose a puck, and all of a sudden you're running around your own zone. If you're too passive, that's what that looks like. It looks gross, right? That's not how we want to play. But I think, Coach obviously wasn't very happy. Still not very happy. I mean, it's going to be...
In the morning, you won't be very happy?
Tomorrow morning's not going to be happy?
It's going to be a fun video session.
Yeah.
You guys fought the puck
I don't know
tonight.
if that answers your question, but, what can we do differently? For me, the defensemen our gaps are where it all starts. When our gaps are that terrible, we are just... letting them have momentum. When we have good gaps, it's kind of like having a big hit. It's kind of like blocking a shot. It's kind of like getting a goal, to me. Like, we get pucks turned over, and all of a sudden we have momentum. When we don't have good gaps, that's what that looks like, right?
You guys fought the puck tonight.
What's that?
I thought you fought the puck a lot tonight.
Oh, yeah, I agree. Yeah, we just... And it's interesting just because... I don't know. We had some chances, and like Coach was saying after the game, pull the trigger. Guys, we're trying to build up our offensive zone maybe more than in my previous 5 years here, but that still doesn't mean that you give up when you're in the position to shoot. You don't shoot, right? So we're not going to score backdoor goals every game or every shift. Sometimes you got to get pucks to the net. You got to get to a rebound. So there's another fine line we're trying to walk, and so, yeah, that happened tonight.
St. Scholastica, go ahead.
Between periods...
I keep hearing myself. Sorry, it's like echoing in my ear.
Do the players tell you what they're seeing and ask you questions?
Yeah.
Like, I'm watching the defensemen tonight, and when the pucks would come up to them, when we'd go low to high, and they'd feel this pressure and just get shots blocked or not be able to get off shots, did they talk to you about that at some point during the intermissions and be like, this is what we're seeing? Is that something you hear? Do you get feedback from them?
We're talking about it on the bench all the time.
Okay.
Yeah,
yep.
So, but yeah, it's a combination of those things. Like I said, the main thing I was harping on was our gaps for the defensemen. Coach was talking about pulling the trigger for the forwards, getting in the fight. There's lanes. We always are talking about seams, finding those seams. And did we do that very well tonight? At times we did. We had possession, but how many shots did we get out of it, right? Somebody just told me, and maybe it was John told me, Feely, that we had 2 shots per power play. I don't know if that's true or not, but it didn't seem like a lot.
You probably had more attempted, but St. Scholastica blocked 19 shots tonight.
And they blocked a lot of shots. And we talked to, the D were coming up. We got to fake shots. We got to go around, guys, We're talking to the players about hitting sticks because they're packing it in. You can't get pucks through, so you got to find sticks on the sides of the net.
Yeah, that's what we were seeing up here. So
Yeah.
it's interesting to hear that that's what the feedback was on the bench as well.
And I guess it's easier said than done.
So how do you reset now? Because that was easily the poorest performance of the season. It's very, very early here, but
I mean, I give them credit though.
They played a great game.
They blocked a lot of shots. They stuck to their game plan.
Yep.
They were coached well. So I'm tip my hat in that regard.
Yep.
But like you said, we didn't play our game, and maybe that's because of them. I don't know, but it wasn't good.
That's not a team you want to get behind 3-1.
Yeah, no,
that's for sure.
Yeah.
So how do you bounce back?
Yeah. How do we bounce
Obviously,
back?
a lot of adjustments here are going to come between now and
those guys that are in the lineup. They got a shot now, right? Be ready. It's your turn. So I think if I'm one of those guys tonight, I'm getting myself, drinking a lot of water, eating right, getting my rest, and I got to be ready to go because I'm going to get my shot, and I have to be ready for that. That's number one. Number two, hopefully that draws energy. It brings energy to our lineup. We'll do a film session like you talked about, and that should expose a lot of what we did. For us, it's, the weirdest part about this is all week we just focused on us. Really, this is what's crazy. We just try to focus on what we need to do to win, how we need to play. And we had such a great practice Thursday, pretty good practice Tuesday, good practice Monday. But, we took Wednesday, gave them a day because they were tired. But we didn't look like that in practice. You know what I mean? Like this. So I don't know.
Yeah, this is like the opposite result of what should have come from that style of practice.
Yeah,
exactly. So
did everybody come out of this one relatively healthy?
Yes.
Okay, good.
As far as I know, yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Yep.
Well,
back at it tomorrow.
We get to play again tomorrow.
That's the best part, right?
Yep.
Sun will come up when we get a chance. And like I said, be ready to go. And it's going to be another very tough opponent tomorrow, as we all know. So Bethel's a good talking to.
And
Did they win tonight?
They got pounded 8-2.
So they'll be a happy bunch.
So they're going to be a happy bunch coming up here tomorrow.
Two happy campers.
That's exactly what I said.
Roomy. That's why we think alike.
That's right. All right, Mouse, thanks a lot.
Yeah, we'll
appreciate it.
See you tomorrow. Yep.
That's assistant coach Brian Meisner, and so good. We're not off base. They saw a lot of the same things we did.
Yeah.
So let's jump now into the post-game summary, and it started out where the Jackets were a tad slow in the beginning. St. Scholastica had 4 of the first 5 shots on net, but then the Jackets got the big break with the block shot that resulted in the Cade Shea sprint up the ice and eventually getting the first goal of the hockey game. So it started off well. Unfortunately, they weren't able to sustain that.
Right, and I think we said during the broadcast, like the first 5 minutes weren't very good, but then UWS won the next 5 minutes, and that culminated with Cade Shea's goal. And so it felt like, oh, great. Well, we weathered the storm. It was like kind of an ugly first 5, but then we got that goal, got that lead. Now everything's going to be rolling. We got a big crowd here. Everything's going to be great from here. And that, unfortunately, never really materialized.
No, it didn't. So Cade Shea opened the scoring 9:18 of the first period, unassisted, his second goal of the season. That made it 1-0. Really great play by Cade Shea to block that shot, corral that loose puck, and he sniped it.
Yeah, a fantastic shot to finish it off as well after making that sprint up the ice. A great goal there, and for a young player to make that play, it had to be a huge confidence builder. And I remember thinking on his next shift, he kind of dangled a guy and made a nice move and beat somebody, and I thought, wow, that's a young player whose confidence is really growing, like that he could feel confident enough to make that move in the zone and beat a guy and dangle a guy like that. Hopefully a sign of good things to come for Cade Shea.
9:18 of the first period. Jackets were up 1-0. Didn't stay that way long, though, and that's St. Scholastica, all the credit in the world again. They answered when they had to. They got that goal back right away.
Yeah, and just a really bad, fluky kind of break, too. I still don't know if that was actually an intended pass off the bottom of the goal frame or if it was just a complete accident, but the puck ends up, you see it here on the replay, the puck ends up bouncing off the goal frame and coming right up the slot, right on the tape of a St. Scholastica player, and an easy goal at that point.
Because that is a play, if you've played the game long enough, you practice that. You practice banking it off that post and having it kick back up the slot to somebody. It looked exactly like that. I would say if he would have done it with his forehand, he intended to do that. If it was on the backhand like it was, I feel like that was a complete fluke.
Right.
But he better go to bed tonight telling everybody, oh, yeah, I was trying that.
Sure. Absolutely.
I was aiming for that. That's exactly what I wanted. At any rate, great play by Ken and Riles there. Andrew coming in the goal. 11:32 of the first period. That tied the game at 1. Shots on goal in the first favoring the Yellow Jackets 8-6. Then the second period rolls around. We've beaten that horse a little bit here tonight, but they never got on track in that second period. They had a couple shifts early where they got stuck out there a little bit too long. Guys were getting tired. St. Scholastica built up all that momentum in the offensive zone, and they never recovered.
Yeah.
They never recovered from it.
Yep.
And then the Saints capitalized and took the lead for good at 8:05 of the second period. Riley Giroux getting his first goal of the season off of a face-off win by Emmett Wurst. And really not a lot. I mean, he got the puck free. He tied up the other center, and Giroux just came in, grabbed it, and wired it.
Right. I guess the question you've got to ask is who was on the left wing side for UWS. I mean, I didn't see it at the beginning of the clip when they showed it there, but obviously you'd like the guy to not be able to get that clean of a break off the draw. But on the flip side, we talked about he false started. He jumped a step early and created some separation and then was able to get through. So, yeah, hard to do much about that when a guy jumps early and it doesn't get blown dead.
When you talk about the winger that should have been there too, I mean, we're watching the replay again. That was a defenseman Jordan Gibbs, who took the first step and then came back because that's not his place to go. There needs to be somebody in there that would jump in and block that shot.
Yeah, so that'll be one. That'll be one on the film study
I'm guessing that's definitely going to be part of the film, but that was at 8:53. Or 8:05, excuse me, and that made it a 2-1 lead for St. Scholastica. They closed out the scoring at 13:01 of the second period. Second goal of the game for Riley Giroux, and this is the one Coach Meisner was talking about.
Yeah, really interesting to hear his feedback on this play because I was just thinking about it from the perspective of how Boschert didn't see it, but the reason the puck got behind the net was because of that weak, soft gap that allowed the player to be able to spot that puck back there.
And we're just watching the replay here. So for the radio folks, I apologize, but we're just we're on radio, but we're watching the replay of the goal, and you can see how many times Jack Boschert turned his head, and when the puck actually came to the front of the net, he was facing the other way. He never even saw that. So second of the game for Giroux, Emmett Wurst and Kenan Riles got the assist. That was at 13:01 of the second period. 3-1 Saints at that point.
And that was a real bad place to be. I mean, you could see by the way the game was going, like down 3-1. It's going to get real easy for Scholastica to play its game from there.
Yeah, and they absolutely did because they carried the rest of the second period until the Yellow Jackets got on the power play. And it was a dominant power play in terms of full 2 minutes in the offensive zone. You made a line change and never gave up possession. You had 4 penalty killers who might as well have been 6 miles away from their bench. They were never going to get to it, and you had nothing to show for it. And that was...
in retrospect, that was probably the one that they needed to have.
They had one shot on net.
Yeah.
And that's the one where you want to pop that goal before the end of the second period, so you're only down one going into the third.
I think that would have created a lot more belief and a lot more confidence and really changed the tone.
Something to build on. To build on going into the third. Third period, no scoring or anything. Shots in the second period, excuse me. St. Scholastica had 11 for a 2-period total of 17. The Yellow Jackets 8 for a 2-period total of 16. Jackets with some power play time in the third period. They had the 1 second that carried over, but then they had back-to-back power plays there, and they only had 2 shots on net.
Right, despite having the puck quite a bit.
A lot, and that's something we didn't ask Mouse about, but what were you trying to set up there? And maybe that's a question for Coach McKenna in the pregame tomorrow. You had all that ozone time on the power play. You only generated 3 shots total. What were you trying to set up? What were you looking for? What was the look you wanted?
Right, but we did hear him say, pull the trigger.
One of the
themes. And I know at one point we said it on a play where there was one of the UWS players like right between the hash marks.
That was Chris Ishmael, who was between the circles. I mean, there's grade A and then there's that.
Right, and he opted to pass to his left wing there. And it's a sweet play if you pass it and get the puck back. But the way tonight was going, like pulling the trigger there was probably a better choice.
Right.
And that was probably a theme on those power plays too. And then part of it also, of course, is putting passes in the right place where players can pull the trigger right away instead of having to fight the puck and corral it before they can shoot it and then ultimately get a block.
No scoring in the third period. Shots on goal in the third. St. Scholastica had 8 for a game total of 25, while the Yellow Jackets had 7 for a game total of 23. Penalties in the game tonight. Very, very clean game. Each team taking 3 penalties for 6 minutes. And, hook, high stick, trip, interference. There's no roughing in here. There was no cross-checking. There was no nothing. This was one of the least physical UWS CSS games I've ever seen.
Yeah, we talked about it in the pregame and the keys to the game about the need for discipline and not letting the emotions run away with it tonight. And we didn't see any emotions running away with anything until there were 10 seconds to go and the Scholastica players were celebrating a big victory.
On the power play in the game, each team going 0 for 3 on the 3 penalties for 6 minutes. Aino Reasonen got the win and goal for St. Scholastica. 22 saves for him. His record now 2-2-1 on the season. Meanwhile, on the other side, Jack Boschert only played 40 minutes. He's going to get tagged with the loss here tonight. And his record on the year now 0-1. He finished the game with 14 saves. Jan Skorpik was 8 for 8 coming into play in that third period. St. Scholastica now 2-2-1 overall. The Yellow Jackets falling to 2-1-1 overall with the loss here tonight. Final score again, the Yellow Jackets falling to St. Scholastica 3-1. We'll take a break, come back, and wrap it up from Westman Arena right after this. This is Yellow Jacket Hockey on 91.3 KUWS Superior and Yellow Jacket TV, an affiliate of the WIAC Sports Network. Show sponsored by Synovus Energy and the Superior Refinery. Here from Westman Arena in Superior, John Garver and Jason Roan with you. And it comes on the heels of a 3-1 victory for St. Scholastica over the Yellow Jackets here this evening. Elsewhere around the WIAC, Beloit has a 2-0 lead over Huron with about 10.5 minutes to go in the second period. Tomorrow night's opponent, Bethel, we already mentioned. UW Stout beat them 8-2 tonight. Boy, what a thrashing. Shots were at even 34-34.
Ooh.
So Bethel's goaltending, the save percentage took a beating in this one. 8-2 the final there. Concordia leading Eau Claire 2-1 with 13.5 to go in the third period. And St. John's breaks the tie in the third period. They defeat River Falls 4-2. So a good night for the MIAC against teams in the WIAC. Earlier this afternoon, the Yellow Jacket men's basketball team falling to Carroll 96-69. And around the world, the Division I hockey, North Dakota beats Arizona State 5-2. UMD beats Nebraska Omaha 5-2. Ohio State leading Wisconsin 2-0, and Long Island beats the Gophers 6-2.
Wow.
Whew.
Where was that game?
I have no idea.
Okay.
But it's a bad day to be Goldie.
It is a bad day to be Goldie.
3 stars.
3 stars. Unfortunately, we've got a Scholastica sweep on this one.
Yes.
I work hard to make sure that doesn't happen, but I had no choice.
There's only so much you can do sometimes.
Yes. The 3rd star is junior forward Emmett Wurst. He had 2 assists today and 2 block shots, which will be a recurring theme for Scholastica throughout this. 2nd star is Keenan Riles with his 2 assists tonight for Scholastica. He did not have many block shots, but he was very noticeable all night long. I mean, he was definitely a creator out there for them tonight. And not shockingly, the 1st star is Riley Giroux with the 2 goals and also 2 blocked shots.
Yeah, not a lot you can. I'm always one for giving as many of those awards to the home team as I can, but eventually there's only so much you can do sometimes. And,
right.
there was nobody in a gray sweater that earned it tonight.
No, and interestingly, you'd think that maybe the goalie who only gave one goal might somehow make his way into the 3 stars, but really, I mean, I struggled to even think of a difficult save that he made tonight.
Yeah,
there had to have been one, but I couldn't think of it.
I think the closest they probably came was when Ishmael hit the crossbar.
Right.
That was really the best opportunity. Aside from the goal, I don't remember any time where we actually got really excited up here. So I mean, yeah, he wasn't overly worked tonight.
Yeah,
there's no doubt about that.
Credit to the 19 block shots and just really good job protecting the house by Scholastica.
Yeah, they're gonna get some use out of the cold tub, I think, after this one. Holy moly! Right. So yeah, the number 3 star, Emmett Worst, number 2, Keenan Routes, number 1 is Riley Giroux. The nice part, like Mo said, though, we get to do it again tomorrow. So you don't have to spend a lot of time thinking about it. You're going to get to think about it tonight when the highlights end up on your phone and you're laying in bed watching and going, okay, I really blew that back check or whatever that case is. But they'll have that happening, and then they'll get the film session in tomorrow, and then time to start prepping for Bethel.
Hopefully this is the low point of the season for UWS.
That would be great.
You build from here. I mean, this was definitely not a result anybody expected tonight in gray and yellow anyway.
Right.
And hopefully they got this out of their system and it's all better from here.
I wonder if they'll wear the yellow sweaters tomorrow.
Probably not going to wear the gray.
0-1 in the grays. Bethel coming to town tomorrow night, 7:05 face-off, 6:30 pregame show right here on 91.3 KUWS and Yellow Jacket TV, an affiliate of the WIAC Network. The Gus Bus was our engineer back in the studio tonight at KUWS. Bradley Lellis, the masterful man with all the buttons next to us here on the left, doing a great job with everybody at Yellow Jacket TV. We did have Abby Hoffman. Trust me, she was here. Just didn't quite work out. So hopefully she'll be back tomorrow when we'll be able to get her some people to talk to ringside. Hopefully we have some better stuff happen so people will want to talk to her ringside. But for Gus, for Bradley, for Abby, for Jason Roan, I am John Garver. Final score here again tonight. St. Scholastica defeating the Yellow Jackets in the home opener. Final score is 3-1. Thank you for making us a part of your Friday, and we hope to have you with us again tomorrow night as the Jackets host Bethel. Until then, for everybody here at KWS and Yellow Jacket TV, good night from Superior, Wisconsin.